wages or them levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Friday. You know, Fridays are days where we like to put our feet up, take it easy. So much news has happened during the week, and Friday we like to just kind of bask in something relaxing. And then yesterday happened, which is one of the biggest news Thursdays I can remember. And Brad, when we said earlier this week, let's get Will Sharf on the show, I said, get him on now.
Yeah, you were asking for him, I think it was for Thursday, and he's like, well, I'm in D.C. all week.
What are you doing in D.C., Will Sharf? What were you doing in our nation's capital?
We were at the Supreme Court yesterday for one of the most important political law cases in American history, trying to keep President Trump on the ballot in all 50 states. We figured that would be the number one news story of the day. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And then Joe Biden, this report comes out, and then he appears to just fold in front of the nation on live TV. I mean, this was one of the craziest days that I can remember for as long as I've been following politics.
I said to Brad on the air, I go, I am so excited that we have Will Sharf in to talk about the Supreme Court thing on Friday. This is so great. And then it was really kind of by happenstance, Ryan. Yesterday, I was like, hey, this special counsel report came in. I was reading it out loud, and we get into the well-meaning elderly with a bad poor memory. We're reading this out loud, and I said to Ryan, I go, on the break, I said, I think we just reacted in a really pretty big way, live, raw on the air. I hope we didn't overdo it. And then the more I found out, Will, the more I'm like, we can talk about the legal ramifications of the special counsel report, but politically disastrous for President Biden.
Politically, it's dynamite. I mean, the special counsel's report indicates that Biden's memory has been faltering going back to 2017. So before he was even elected president, he was having serious memory lapses. It's important to note that everything that President Trump has been accused of doing in the Florida documents case, this special counsel's report indicates that Biden did all the same stuff, and he doesn't have the Presidential Records Act as a defense. I mean, you have boxes and boxes of documents, dozens of highly classified documents basically just sitting in this guy's garage. And then you have the fact that, he appears to be...
You have to say, buy his Corvette.
But right, buy his Corvette.
The most important thing that comes out of this is that Joe Biden knows that that he's got a Corvette.
In the same house that Hunter was living in and presumably getting up to all kinds of crazy stuff there. I mean, this is really, really damning stuff. And the fact that Biden is trying to minimize it, saying that he was fully cooperative, saying all this other stuff, the special counsel's report just shows that to be an absolute lie. The special counsel's report says that Joe Biden repeatedly refused to answer questions when he was being interviewed by the special counsel's team. It shows serious obstructive conduct, including his ghostwriter deleting hours and hours and hours of recordings of Biden potentially talking about classified documents that he had in his possession. This is absolute dynamite without even getting into the fact that this proves what we've said all along, which is that the Biden DOJ has set up a two-tiered system of justice where one set of rules applies to President Trump and one set of rules applies to Democrats. If Donald Trump has to stand trial for this document stuff in Florida, and I don't think he should, and Joe Biden doesn't similarly have to stand trial, I mean, that's just a serious perversion of the rule of law.
So, okay, I was reading your tweets. I was reading so many tweets last night, and we heard this. I'm going to take us back to September here.
You saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago. What did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen. How anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that, I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
That's Joe Biden talking about the image that was taken by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago when they spread all the documents out and then took a photograph and put them out there for everyone to see. He was very surprised by that. Compare his reaction to the Donald Trump documents photographed by the FBI to what we now know to be real about what was discovered at Joe Biden's house next to his Corvette in his locked garage, which is better than being, from Joe Biden's terms, on the street.
Well, so first of all, Mar-a-Lago, where the Trump documents were held, is a Secret Service secured facility. So the idea that Joe Biden's security situation was somehow better than President Trump's is insane. But second, Joe Biden's talking about sources and methods. He had taken documents from sit-room briefings. This is top secret, secured classified information that he had just lying around in his garage for years that he was showing to his ghostwriter, potentially to others. I mean, every single thing they have accused President Trump of doing, the special counsel's report accuses Joe Biden of doing. And again, because President Trump was a former president, he has powerful legal defenses relating to that status, including the Presidential Records Act, that as a former vice president, the law just doesn't apply in the same way to Joe Biden. So here you have a clear example of unequal treatment under the law, which is just deeply antithetical to the way things are supposed to work in America.
We're speaking with Will Sharf. He's in studio with us, and he's going to be with us here through about 12:45. We're very grateful for his time as he has gotten off a plane this morning from Washington, D.C., where he was present at the Supreme Court hearing yesterday regarding the Trump on the Colorado ballot case that was heard. Will is a former federal prosecutor for the Eastern District of Missouri. He's a former policy director from the Missouri governor's office. He's a candidate for the Missouri attorney general position. And you are also an attorney for President Trump. You are working for him and his legal defense.
Yeah, we've been on his legal team now since last August. We're actually, we have this presidential immunity appeal that we're poised to take up to the Supreme Court in a second, trying to make sure that he's not forced to stand trial on the outrageous charges that have been brought against him in D.C. But as you said, it's been a crazy week. But I will say, after spending 4 days in Washington, D.C., it is great to be back in Missouri.
Yeah, well, we're incredibly happy to welcome you back home to the Show Me State. So we are going to talk about the Supreme Court hearing. I think we're going to talk about that in the next segment. I am watching your comments come in on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, so you can watch us there. If you have questions, I will go over questions that are posted there in the break and see if we can pull any of those into the conversation here maybe in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so when we come back. Going back to the Joe Biden bombshell news from the special counsel report yesterday that we heard about the documents that were discovered, Joe Biden's knowledge of it, his willfulness in having these documents in his home. Yesterday during the press conference, Joe Biden came out and he cited portions of the special counsel's report saying that there wasn't a willfulness.
Yeah.
He gave you the page numbers where you could see that the special counsel report said that he wasn't willingly doing this to evade the law.
Yeah. So Joe Biden's a liar is the bottom line here. That the special counsel's report concludes that Joe Biden did willfully retain classified information that he should not have retained. What Joe Biden did was he then went through the report where the special counsel details every type of document, every sort of batch of documents that they found at Joe Biden's house. And with respect to some of those documents, the special counsel said that there wasn't evidence that he'd willfully retained those documents. But the overall conclusion of the special counsel's report is that Joe Biden unlawfully, willfully retained classified information that he should not have retained. And Joe Biden is just lying about it to the American people. That press conference was wild. I mean, half the reason they called the press conference was to reassure Americans that Joe Biden's memory was fine. And within 5 minutes, He's calling the president of Egypt the president of Mexico. He forgot where his son Beau's rosary came from as he made this sort of emotional speech about the importance of his sadly deceased son to him. I mean, it was a really weird press conference. And I think from a political standpoint, Joe Biden raised more questions than he answered last night. And I think it's going to be really tough for the Democrats to make the argument that he has the mental capacity to be president of the United States of America.
Yeah, I think that the implications out of yesterday's news about the records that were retained by Joe Biden in his home, these classified documents, there are two big questions that come out of it. Maybe three, one of them being cute. Joe Biden for these crimes. The recommendation from the special counsel is not to do so because he's not fit to stand trial. That's the way my layman's terms understand it. But Joe Biden is out there saying he's as fit as a fiddle.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats have this incredible catch-22 where either Joe Biden's mental capacity is perfect, in which case the special counsel's report indicates that he should be prosecuted, or Joe Biden is a senile old man, and therefore he can't be brought to trial. But why is a senile old man sitting in the White House with his finger on the nuclear button? I mean, they can't have it both ways here. Either Joe Biden is unfit to be president of the United States of America, or the day that he leaves the White House, he should be indicted for unlawful retention of classified information. That's the conclusion of the special counsel's report.
So there is the criminal charges question, which I don't see this ending in charges for Joe Biden for a variety of reasons. We've kind of discussed this already, the political ramifications just seemed like an absolute wrecking ball to Joe Biden's possibility of being an effective candidate for the Democrats against Donald Trump in this November election. But the other question that I have that I think is a very significant one, and I'm going to lean in, Will Sharf, to your legal expertise. We've talked about how the Joe Biden classified documents case compares to the Donald Trump classified documents case. What I hear a lot of, let's just say Trump detractors, maybe TDSers, however you want to label them, they are really pushing in on the obstruction portion of what Donald Trump is facing, saying you had the documents, you were told to comply, you pushed back, you obstructed, you didn't tell the truth. Tell me about the difference between the charges that exist for Donald Trump and the ones that they passed on with Joe Biden, because Joe Biden was very adamant about how compliant he was in this whole process.
Sure. I think that's just false. Joe Biden was not compliant during this process. The special counsel's report reveals that on numerous occasions, he declined to answer questions, totally fair questions that were posed to him about this whole saga. I think it's also really important to note that as a former president, as opposed to as a former senator and vice president, President Trump has legal rights, responsibilities, and prerogatives that Joe Biden just didn't have. This is the Presidential Records Act argument that I've made before, that others have made before. Courts have consistently held that former presidents have essentially an unfettered right to designate documents as being personal as opposed to presidential. I believe that there was no way to prove that Donald Trump knowingly retained information that he knew he wasn't supposed to have, which is what they have to show. It's also worth noting that a president, a former president, or a sitting president has the ability to declassify anything. The classification authority, with a few very narrow exceptions, is a creature of presidential power. So President Trump would have the ability to declassify documents. And one of the reasons I believe that he's been charged under the Espionage Act, as opposed to the more normal unlawful retention of classified information statutes, is that the Biden DOJ didn't want to have to litigate around this idea of the president's declassification authority. Now, with respect to Joe Biden, the case is much clearer and much simpler. If he unlawfully retained classified information, that is a federal offense. He did not have a right to declassify documents. He's not covered in the same way by the Presidential Records Act. If Joe Biden had classified information at his home, if he willfully retained classified information after leaving office as vice president, that's a crime. I believe he should be prosecuted for it. And the special counsel's report agrees. This is Robert Hur, a special counsel appointed by Biden's own Department of Justice, somebody reporting to Biden's own Department of Justice, saying that the reason not to criminally prosecute Joe Biden is essentially that his mind has turned to mush, and therefore a jury would be unwilling to convict him. I mean, if that's not damning as to this guy's capacity to continue being president, I don't know what is.
I want to ask you this question, which maybe you just asked, or maybe you've answered this, but it's specifically from a listener who I think has good intentions to find out what your response is to this. Annie, can you ask him, this is from Edward, how the Presidential Record Act is a defense for Trump? As far as I know, it's specifically outlined in the act that classified documents are to be returned to the National Archives when the president leaves office.
So that's not entirely correct. The Presidential Records Act allows a president to designate which of his records are presidential, and those would be sort of official documents of the nature that do need to be returned to the National Archives, and which of those documents that he has at the end of his term in office are personal documents. Every court to have looked at this issue, this is the Clinton sock drawer case most notably, has said that a president's determinations with respect to what's presidential and what's personal are essentially unreviewable by the courts, that's not a question that the courts can wade into. That's why the Presidential Records Act is so important, and it also speaks to President Trump's state of mind. Even if he made a mistake, even if he kept documents that should have been designated as presidential, but he thought were personal, then that undercuts the mens rea that they have to prove, the willfulness, the voluntariness of what he was doing. So all in all, the Presidential Records Act creates a legal morass that the special counsel in his case in Florida is going to have to wade through long before he even gets to trial on those issues. And even if that case goes to trial, and I certainly hope it doesn't, they're going to have to prove a degree of willfulness and intent on President Trump's part that I don't think they can prove based on President Trump's rights under the Presidential Records Act and his understanding of the Presidential Records Act. That's why the Presidential Records Act is so important to that Trump case. And the fact that Joe Biden simply does not have the same sorts of defenses, the same sorts of prerogatives under the law, I think makes the case against him damning and the special counsel's report, frankly, conclusive. I'll just reemphasize this. The special counsel appointed by Biden's own Department of Justice has said that the only reason not to prosecute Joe Biden is that a jury would take pity on him because he's an old man with a faulty memory. I mean, if that is not damning, I don't know what is.
We're speaking with attorney for President Trump, Will Sharf, also a candidate for Missouri Attorney General, former federal prosecutor for the Eastern District of Missouri, in studio. Edward, I hope that answers your question from a very bright legal mind. You're going to stick around for a little bit, right?
Yeah, happy to hang out.
Man, the questions, the more you answer, the more questions I have, Ryan. You probably got some questions.
I'm actually just kind of enjoying listening for a moment.
You
so
just stand a little closer.
I'm like,
let it
oh
rub
yeah,
off.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, soak it in. We appreciate you being with us this Friday afternoon. Yesterday was a monumental news day on a whole host of fronts. We haven't even really talked about the Supreme Court hearing that Will Sharf was at yesterday to find out whether or not Donald Trump's going to even be on the ballot in Colorado. We're going to get to that issue when we come back. I'm going to read your questions that you're posing, like Edward's online. You send them to us and do so respectfully. I don't care who you are going to vote for. I like your questions. I will forward as many of those as I can as well. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Ask your questions of Will Sharf right there, and we'll get to what we can. And we'll discuss that Supreme Court hearing and other things when we return. We'll be right back.
Don't be cool, but don't be too nice, 'cause I want you.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Nobody but me. And I don't want anybody thinking just maybe. Nobody.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
Mark Cox here. You know, people have been listening to my advice about Hampton Manor of Wentzville, and the feedback is outstanding for the people that have paid a visit. This is a beautiful, brand new senior living community just off Highway 70, north of the Lake St. Louis exit. You should go see them. All of the amenities you could imagine, a hair and nail salon, a movie theater, a personal chef. Schedule your tour today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com. That's wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Heroes Care is fulfilling their mission of serving military members in many ways. Brad Range here from the Annie Frey Show. Every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Heroes Care is offering free haircuts at the Mission Depot. Learn more and make an appointment at 971talk.com/care.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
He had a nasty reputation as a cruel dude. They said he was ruthless, they said he was cruel. They had one thing in common, they were good and bad. She'd say, faster, faster, the lights are turning red. Life in the fast lane surely makes you lose.
Well, I got a ton of sound here that I could go through of people reacting to the press conference last night from Joe Biden when the news came out. The special counsel report comes out and says he's old, he's forgetful, probably kind of a nice guy, means well. And then what the White House decided to do is tell the guy to go in front of a podium and yell at the country to get off of his lawn. That was an amazing political decision for the White House. I don't understand it. I do have pity for this man. I do have disdain for his wife. Why are you allowing this to happen to him? So we've discussed that part of the big news cycle yesterday with Will Sharf, who's in studio with us right now. He is an attorney for President Trump. He was at the Supreme Court yesterday while the Supreme Court was hearing the case out of Colorado. They're right, the Secretary of State's right in Colorado to say, Trump, you're not on the ballot here. So Will, walk us through the experience yesterday of listening to that. We were able to hear it. You were able to see it. It felt very much so like Donald Trump might have had a pep in his step after hearing what we heard yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great day for us. So basically what happened here is a number of left-wing groups led by this group called Crew seeded lawsuits all over the country to try to keep President Trump off the ballot on the theory that he's a quote-unquote insurrectionist covered by the 14th Amendment, by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. This argument, I believe, was always just legal bunk. It was rejected by basically every court in the country that heard it. Somehow they managed to convince the Colorado Supreme Court otherwise. So Colorado ruled that President Trump wouldn't be able to be on the ballot in Colorado. We took that up to the Supreme Court. And yesterday, I mean, it was shocking. You had justices that are typically considered some of the most liberal justices on the court almost telling our lawyer who was arguing, Jonathan Mitchell, that he had to be even more aggressive and assertive, that he wasn't being aggressive enough in defending Donald Trump's ability to remain on the ballot. I mean, we think this is going to be a big win for us. I don't want to necessarily make a prediction that it'll be unanimous, but when you're a liberal lawyer and you're getting just dragged relentlessly by Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson.
You ain't doing it right.
It's
Something
like,
not right.
when you've lost Kagan and Jackson, it's tough to count to 5 votes. So, like, this was a really good day for us, a really good day for the Republic, and a really, really bad day for this left-wing concerted effort to interfere with President Trump's ability to run for president. So we were really happy with how it went.
What I keep hearing smart people like you saying, and you can explain this down to my level here in a second, is that if Chief Roberts wants to get a unanimous consent here, it's going to have to be a very narrow ruling. What does that mean?
Well, so it depends what you mean by that. I think there are ways...
I'm not sure what I mean about that.
There are ways they could craft an opinion that wouldn't say that President Trump didn't engage in insurrection, but that still would protect his right to be on the ballot. So one issue that came up yesterday is a very old case from the 1860s called Griffin's case, where the Supreme Court Chief Justice at the time basically said that states can't go out on their own in enforcing this provision of the 14th Amendment, that there has to be federal implementing legislation, which there actually was in the 1870s, in order to bring this into effect. And the justices keyed on this because if you don't accept that ruling, if you don't accept this idea that there has to be a uniform federal standard, then every state gets to make its own decision on who is and isn't covered by this provision. And you could end up with the crazy situation where the Democrat candidate isn't on the ballot in any Republican-controlled state, and the Republican candidate isn't on the ballot in any Democrat-controlled state. And to me, that's just sort of the end of our system of electing presidents. That's the end of the republic. So the justices were clearly worried about the ramifications of any decision that could allow states to just kind of make things up as they go along here. And my guess is that that's where this opinion ends up, with an idea that you need federal implementing legislation for this provision to be brought into effect, for this provision of the 14th Amendment. And that's an absolute win for us. I mean, that was one of our key arguments in our briefing all the way through, and I think we'd all be very happy with any decision that protects the right of President Trump to run for office and to appear on the ballot.
We're speaking with Will Sharf here in studio. He's an attorney for President Trump, was present at those hearings yesterday at the Supreme Court. Ryan Wiggins is starting to get awkwardly close to Will Sharf, just trying to bask in this legal expertise. Are you okay? Do you need a fan or something over there?
I wouldn't mind a little
Brad,
fan.
can you kind of just cool him down a little bit?
No, he's on his own.
Deal with it.
So, Brad would, in fact, mind.
Well, she thought I was fanning myself. I was waving. I was saying, I have a question
Go for it.
Will. So yesterday, I was watching the oral arguments as much as I could. It was basically all morning. I heard, and I wasn't just surprised to hear that the liberal or left-leaning justices typically were peppering Colorado with so many questions, but the angles at which everybody was coming at them. It wasn't just one thing that they were really hung up on, like, oh, well, you didn't consider this. It was like this thing and that thing and this thing. Was that a surprise to you guys being there?
Look, we think our legal arguments were very, very strong, and we're not surprised that the justices saw things the same way. But as you said, the questioning was incredibly aggressive, and some of the justices, I'd actually point to Brett Kavanaugh on this, almost seemed to indicate that they thought this whole case was self-evident, that of course we should be ruling the way you guys are asking. What Colorado and crew, what these left-wing groups are asking for, just doesn't make any sense. It's just wildly incoherent. So our lawyer, who's this guy named Jonathan Mitchell, an outstanding conservative lawyer out of Texas, at times he almost had to dial the justices back and lead them through some of the more complicated what we view as some of the more complicated tensions in the law. And to contrast to that, when the lawyer from Crew was up there, I mean, he was just getting dragged over and over and over again, and the justices kept pulling back to, if you're right, the ramifications are just crazy. And again, we're not talking about Thomas and Alito. I mean, Thomas barely said a word yesterday. Alito was very aggressive, but, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who's a Biden appointee to the U.S. Supreme Court, I mean, she sounded like she was just 100% with us, that she was ready to rule from the bench. I wouldn't say we were shocked by it because, again, our arguments here are really strong. But it was a great day for us, and we were really happy with how things went. President Trump gave an awesome press conference down at Mar-a-Lago where, I mean, he seemed pretty psyched with the way things had gone in the morning. So.
Yeah. You can always tell when he's delivering a press conference, like a small little speech, and then he takes questions. You can always tell when he's feeling good. And you can tell when he's feeling a little feisty. And he was in good form yesterday.
Well, look, it's been a great week for him between the Supreme Court, between the Nevada primary where Nikki Haley lost to none of the above, and then the Nevada caucuses. I mean, President Trump's on a roll right now. But again, I think it's just important to note that yesterday President Trump had to make the choice between going to the Supreme Court to hear a case that, is really important to him, really important to his campaign, and going to Nevada to campaign on the day of the Nevada caucuses. This is this left-wing plan to use lawfare to interfere in the 2024 election, to use this constant string of cases and prosecutions to interfere with President Trump's First Amendment right to run for office. And we saw that play out in a little way yesterday, and that's why I think it's so important that we fight back against this left-wing campaign against President Trump. However you feel about President Trump, even if you're a liberal, you should not be happy with the way that the Biden DOJ, with the way that these left-wing groups have weaponized our legal system to interfere in the 2024 election.
You're talking about kind of an expansive lawfare that the left is using, the bureaucratic left is using to try to get Trump. I want to read for you a comment from Scooter. He said, Trump is requesting a new kind of more expansive immunity like dictators have. What do you say to that?
Look, I think that's absolutely incorrect. I mean, presidential immunity, we view that as core to our constitutional system of federalism and separation of powers. I think it's one of the reasons why no president, no former president in American history has ever before been prosecuted for his acts in office, for his official acts.
Well, I don't want to put words in Scooter's mouth, but I have a feeling he would say no other president has acted like Donald Trump.
Well, I just think that's incorrect. You look through American history, there are numerous instances where presidents have done things in office that are incredibly controversial, incredibly unpopular, some would say potentially criminal, and yet nobody has ever made the effort to prosecute a president for his official acts in office before, because I think people assumed that that wasn't something you were allowed to do. And then suddenly with Trump, we see this new standard emerge where you have prosecutors all over the country, federal and state, attempting to rush into court to bring these cases against him, I believe just in time for the 2024 election. I mean, Biden's DOJ could have indicted President Trump in 2021 and 2022. Instead, they rushed out these indictments right as the election was starting to get going and then pushed for incredibly quick trial dates to force President Trump to be on trial just as his election campaign was going to get going. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think this is unprecedented in American history. And frankly, I don't think President Trump did anything wrong. And I think the facts will end up bearing that out if, God forbid, he's forced to stand trial on any of these cases. So we're living in, I think, really dangerous times for those of us who care about our Constitution, for those of us who care about the rule of law. I mean, these are core questions of federalism, of the separation of powers. President Trump has said repeatedly that if a president doesn't have immunity, this exact sort of immunity that we're seeking for him, the presidency is over, that every future president will be living under fear of criminal prosecution for every one of their acts. They can't give an order to their military. They can't make any decision without having their political opponents hang the possibility of criminal prosecution over their heads. That will completely obliterate the power of the presidency. That will make it impossible for any president to act decisively in times of national crisis. This is a real, real problem. We're seeking to vindicate President Trump's rights in court, but more than that, we're seeking to vindicate core constitutional principles that we believe underlie the entire American Republic and our system of governance.
Last question I have for you, Will Sharf, with us right now, attorney for President Trump, candidate for Missouri Attorney General, former federal prosecutor for the Eastern District of Missouri. Most all of this vitriol, hatred, and lawfare is rooted in this idea that Donald Trump tried to overthrow the people's election on January 6th of 2021. What do you say when people look at that? They've been fed that, over and over and over again. They try to show the images of people who went into the Capitol, hinge them all on Donald Trump as if he sent them in there. And I had a conversation yesterday with Hans von Spakovsky, and I raised this point. The idea of people storming the Capitol actually derailed the process that Donald Trump wanted to see play out. So the actual storming of the Capitol was detrimental to the process, which, from what I understand, is a constitutionally based process to challenge the election results. It didn't even end up materializing. And Joe Biden has been the president, somebody tell him, all of these days since he was inaugurated. Is Donald Trump, is there any part of this insurrectionist charge on Donald Trump that has legal standing in any of these cases?
So a couple points. First, neither President Trump nor any other person in the country has been charged, much less convicted, with insurrection. The idea that this was an insurrection is not borne out by the facts at all. I would also encourage your listeners, go back and listen to President Trump's entire speech on the ellipse on January 6, 2021. And the left always keys on things that he said we need to fight like hell. If you actually look at those statements in context, when he talks about fighting, he's talking about broad policy concerns. He's talking about fighting in a very general sense politically. And that's totally normal political rhetoric.
No different than 20 minutes that they played in the impeachment trial of Maxine Waters, among many other people, saying the exact same rhetoric.
100%. And then when he calls on people to march to the Capitol, he specifically says, we are going to patriotically and peacefully protest. There is no part of the speech that is clearer than when President Trump says patriotically and peacefully. There is nothing about President Trump's actions on the day of January 6, 2021, that indicate that in any way he tried to incite violence, he tried to do anything beyond asking people to peacefully protest. And that's key because it cuts back entirely against this left-wing narrative that he tried to stir this crowd up into a riot. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's also worth noting that the first breach of the Capitol, the first attacks on law enforcement, all occurred before President Trump's speech even concluded. So there were people who I think wanted to cause trouble, or, trouble happened. But I think tying that factually to anything President Trump did just doesn't carry any water at all. And as you said before, we've been challenging elections in this country, going back to 1800, 1824. Lots of candidates feel that for one reason or another, the system the election as it occurred, the system that resulted wasn't fair, wasn't justified, and they've taken steps to contest those results. I mean, this is just a feature of our democracy, and it's regrettable that some of the things that happened on January 6th happened. I'd be the first to say that you shouldn't attack law enforcement. I mean, I think that's self-evident, and some people I think did. But
it's not self-evident for everybody in this country.
Yeah. You think about what happened with the Black Lives Matter protests in the summer of 2020. You had a federal courthouse in Portland that was essentially under siege for over a month, with very few people actually charged for any of that violence. But with this idea that President Trump is an insurrectionist, it's entirely been cooked up by the left-wing media, by political actors. The facts just don't bear it out. And I think that's just really important. People, do your own research. Go back and listen to that speech. Really get in the weeds of what actually happened on January 6th, because I think the American people have been fed a lie. And I think that lie has been pushed relentlessly by the mainstream media for purely political purposes.
Andy, a listener, faithful listener of the show, a detractor at times, but always respectfully, says, if Trump thought it was detrimental, why didn't he try to stop everyone that day? Why wasn't he upset with the day's events? I think you've kind of answered that.
He did. He put out a video saying everyone needs to go home now. I mean, that's the thing that, as soon as it became clear that this was an out-of-control situation, President Trump goes up, as quickly as you can when you're president of the United States of America, and he cuts the Rose Garden video where he says, everybody, it's time to go home. Like, you've made your point, whatever that was, it's time to go home. And people did. So when you actually look at President Trump's acts on that day, it's tough to really pick a bone with them. And that's what I think needs to come out. If, God forbid, that D.C. case or the Georgia case does go to trial, I think a lot of those facts will come out. But if you actually look at the record, it's very different than what's been portrayed in the mainstream media. And I think that's really important.
Bonus content came up with another question. I have to ask it. Is shifting off of Donald Trump, I think you've very well articulated his defense on so many different cases that he's facing right now. I want to go back to Joe Biden just to wrap this up. Yesterday, presciently, our YouTube live chat poll was, hey, you think we'll see the 25th Amendment before November?
Man.
That started at noon. That special counsel story didn't break until like 2 o'clock or something like that. And that question looked a little different at 3 p.m. than it did at noon. Is Joe Biden in jeopardy of being able to finish his actual term, or is that so politically outrageous we're not going to see that?
I mean, I think there's a strong argument that the 25th Amendment should be brought to bear here. Now, given the way the 25th Amendment, given the way that process works, I think it's highly unlikely that he'll be removed from office between now and next January. But I think people have to be thinking, does this guy really have the capacity to serve another 4 years as president? And I think the answer is pretty clearly no. So there are a number of ways that he can be pulled off the ballot. It's too late, really, for another Democrat to be put on the primary ballot. So Joe Biden could potentially, at the Democrat convention, withdraw himself from consideration. And that would mean that all of his delegates would become unpledged, and the Democrats at the Democrat National Convention would be able to choose a different candidate. If he makes it through the convention and he then withdraws or is forced to withdraw by reasons of health or age or whatever, then Democrat state party chairs would have the ability to decide the candidate. So that's option number 2. Option number 3 is that if he actually makes it through the election and he wins, which I don't think he will, but if he were to, at that point he could resign and then or step back, and then the vice president-elect would take office. But I just think looking at his presentation last night, looking at these increasing questions about his fitness to serve, I find it really difficult to believe that the Democrats are going to continue going down this road if they have any other alternative. And then the question becomes, who can they put up?
Right.
Who can they put up that could plausibly, compose a national election campaign in just a couple months? What does that look like? And what does that do to Americans' faith in the Democrat Party that they've insisted for years and years and years that Biden is totally capable to serve? And now we find out he's been having significant lapses in memory since 2017. And that's not an accusation being leveled by his political rivals. That's an accusation being leveled at him by his own Department of Justice. I mean, it really is stunning. And I think if you're an honest Democrat out there, you've got to be thinking, what are you doing to your country by putting this guy up for election for another 4 years as president?
Yes or no, is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? That's today's poll.
50, as of now, he is. 50-50, he makes it through to election
You're
day.
like, well, it's 12:48 on a Friday. Yes, right now.
Annie, 2 days ago, I would have told you 100% they're stuck with him. But he was just so feeble and so bad yesterday that I think people have to start running for the hills. You see the attacks coming this morning. They're calling Robert Hur the special counsel. It's like, oh yeah, he's a MAGA guy. Yeah. Notable MAGA activist Robert Hur, who was appointed by Merrick Garland, Joe Biden's
another radical MAGA Republican.
It's like, if that's their line, like it's crazy to me that that's where the conversation is at right now.
We've talked about all of it, and you have to come back.
Anytime, Annie. I love coming on with you guys. So thanks so much for having me.
Tell President Trump we said hi.
I will.
Thank
I
you.
will.
He is the attorney for President Trump, one of them. He is also a candidate for Missouri Attorney General and a former federal prosecutor for the Eastern District of Missouri. Will Sharf. We are going to turn this all around and get it out there in video for you to consume. Boy, do we need to go to a break. Join us on the YouTube live chat. We'll be right back.
They paid heavenly bills. There were lines on the mirror, lines on her face. She pretended not to notice she was caught up in a race. Out every evening until it was light. He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane surely makes you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane, every day, all the time. Life in the fast lane.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9 million.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote and tell us why you think he is or why you think he isn't. The time is 12:50. This time check is brought to you or sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Stevie Nicks is coming to St. Louis May 7th, and we're giving away free tickets. Just listen for us to tell you when to call, only on The Mark Reardon Show all this week.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I was at the top and I was like I'm in the basement. Number one spot, now she found a replacement. I swear now I can't take it. Knowing somebody's got my baby.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak.
Oh.
That's
Your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President.
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? You know, I guess I just forgot what was going on.
He throws a lot of things out there. He gives a lot of homework out of what he wants other people to research. I'm like, I want you to tell me what you've done.
Yeah, you know what? The whole time Peter Ducey's talking, I'm thinking, a great response here would be, how is your memory? He should have said, I don't know. What was the question? They're a great responses.
Peter Ducey was on with Jesse Waters reacting to the press conference and that question. And Peter Ducey was basically defending Joe Biden. He said, when he said to me that my memory is so bad, I forgot that I shouldn't have called on you or whatever he said there. Peter Ducey goes, that was funny.
Yeah, it was not bad.
He said, and Jesse Waters, you could tell Jesse Waters was like, come on, Peter Ducey, we're doing a thing here. We're dunking on the president. And Peter, it was very interesting to watch Peter reflect on that moment. Peter was saying, these are really uncomfortable questions. And he's got to answer some very embarrassing reports here. And for him to come back and say, I forgot to call, I shouldn't call on you though, or whatever. He goes, that was actually funny. And then Jesse Waters plays it and he goes, it doesn't seem like the sarcasm really hit. And then Peter Ducey goes, well, he's mad. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of understand why he's mad. And I thought that was an interesting take from Peter Ducey. I don't know if it was like Stockholm Syndrome or something, but it was like watching him really expand the lens on this moment in time to understand what it would have been like for Joe Biden to have to go in front of those people and answer to a report. I'm trying to think of things that were as embarrassing to withstand for a president as that were in fact true, because what they've done to lie about Donald Trump, about some very salacious and obnoxious things that were not true at all, Donald Trump had to withstand all of that, knowing that it was a lie. I don't think Joe Biden is going up there thinking that he's going to be able to completely sell everybody that he's a whippersnapper. He just needs to be able to get this to be yesterday's news. He needs to get through the moment and make it yesterday's news. I heard Dana Perino talking about it with Jesse Waters too, and he goes, "Why?" She said, "Why didn't they put him in the Oval Office at the Resolute desk, him and a camera, speak to the country, send him to bed?"
Mm-hmm. If that, I honestly thought that he would not even address this, because the easiest way for this to go away is to make it a news story for a couple days, get to the weekend, see what happens Monday.
Man, he has never responded to any situation in his presidency as quickly as he did to this one.
You're right. He came. This had to be his doing. that he said, no, I am going out and addressing this.
I completely think it's the other way around.
Really?
Oh, 100%. But I have been saying for so long that when they determine it's time that they're done with Joe Biden, when Joe Biden is no longer useful to the apparatus, that they will tell him, Joe, you're done. And he's going to say, I am not done. I'm the president of the United States. And they're going to say, you go out our way, or you're going to go out in a way that you're not going to like. And the way that he was put out there, kind of to his own devices, and then the press was aggressive towards him. They've never been that aggressive towards him. It is not new information that he's not super sharp.
Yeah.
The questions that were asked last night aren't based on this brand new revelation where he was the president of the United States, who's 81 years old, has a diagnosis that nobody knew anything about, and this is brand new information. He's talking about speaking to dead people on an every other day basis. It's not like one slip. I think last night Jesse Waters was talking to Chrissy Noem and introduced her as the governor of South Carolina.
That's a slip.
It's South Dakota. And it's like, are we talking about Joe Biden here making slip-ups? People make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people will say, Donald Trump confused Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi. It takes 7.5 brain cells to look at Donald Trump and Joe Biden and know it ain't the same. Maybe 6.
I'll take you one further. I'll go 5.
Yeah. Do I have 4?
A lot of respect to Peter Doocy, by the way, for being a journalist. I mean,
Yeah.
that dude steps into these situations. He's usually the only one to ever say anything contrary to the narrative. And last night, he could have gone on to Jesse Waters and dunked hard, and he didn't. He said he gave journalist answers. Good to see.
We got a packed 1 o'clock hour. We moved the B or not the B, our normal Wiggins America, to 1:45. So stick around for that. Ask us anything, questions in the comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'd be happy to answer them. And we're going to get to what we missed in the week. Good grief. I feel like with this last 24-hour news cycle, we've missed so much. We'll be right back.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Stewart's American Mortgage. I'm just really excited to talk about it. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie and the Bagel Loan are there to help you out. Make sure that your mortgage, that's a huge loan that you're going to take out, probably the biggest loan you're going to take out. Be smart with it. First of all, use the Bagel Loan. Don't pay any closing costs. That's about as smart as it can get. He's going to be able to hook you up with the low rates that are going to be available to you wherever they're available, however low they might be at this given time. But when you go to Stewie and you get a Bagel Loan, he doesn't have any closing costs for you to pay. He doesn't roll them into the loan. He doesn't tuck them away for another time. There are no closing costs, and this can save you thousands of dollars when you're going through the process of securing a mortgage. Did you know you can also use a Bagel Loan for a refinance? Reach out to Stewie today and talk to him about how he can help you with your mortgage situation. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan as well, and MLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President and former prosecutor Kamala Harris accusing special counsel Robert Hur of gratuitous and inaccurate comments about President Biden's mental fitness in the final report about a classified documents probe.
So the way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts. And clearly, politically motivated.
Herr served as a federal prosecutor during the Trump administration, but was appointed by the current Attorney General, Merrick Garland, to probe President Biden's handling of classified documents. The president has denied the report's descriptions of him and a finding that he willfully retained classified information and disclosed some of it. White House counsel's office spokesman Ian Sams.
The special counsel's assignment when he was appointed was to determine whether any criminal conduct occurred. He found it didn't. That was the finding. The case is closed.
Sams also saying moments ago the president takes classified information seriously and noting that when classified documents were found, it was self-reported. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is now targeting Hamas in the crowded Gaza city of Rafah with airstrikes earlier ahead of a ground invasion.
It's very tricky because that's where the civilian refugees are sheltering. Netanyahu has just asked his cabinet to come up with a plan to evacuate the civilian refugees while maintaining the military pressure on the remaining battalions of Hamas.
Fox's Mike Tobin. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said the U.S. would not support a ground offensive in Rafah. U.S. military officials just releasing the identities of the 5 Marines killed earlier this week when their helicopter went down during stormy weather in California. They were all in their 20s and came from Kansas, Arizona, Idaho, Michigan, and New Hampshire. That crash still under investigation. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
If you're looking for winter, don't look this afternoon. It's all about early spring, partly sunny, breezy, and warm, 69. Nice. Then tonight, lots of clouds, couple of rain showers, 42. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy and chilly, 52. Sunday, increasing clouds, 45, with a couple of rain showers late day on Sunday. Could be a little wet snow get mixed with that late Sunday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Let us know how your local first responders are positively serving your community, and let us feed them. It's the Mark Cox Morning Show's Feed Our First Responders campaign, compliments of Grill Master Tony's Barbecue. Go to 971talk.com/contests to nominate your department today.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. You'll love this. It's a genius idea. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 855-300-9993. That's 855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will pay for your home based on its best current value, not what's coming. Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
I'm not America's sweetheart. Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Man, yesterday's YouTube live chat poll. Yeah, you got to know the struggle that I go through every day to come up with a poll that makes you go, I want to weigh in on this. Because if I ask you, like, do you support Donald Trump for president? That's probably one I could ask. You probably want to go and open up YouTube, find our channel and click that, yes, you absolutely do. Or, no, not a chance. But if I ask a question and I 100% know how it's going to end up, that's not a question that's worth asking you over and over and over throughout the show. Yesterday's was, do you think we'll see the 25th Amendment before the election gets here? And I didn't think that was one of my A-plus polls.
You were wrong.
I was wrong, man.
That was a great poll. Good job.
Come on, man. Did you say yes? Yesterday you didn't say yes.
I said no.
What did you say?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
We were all the same yesterday.
We were all no's?
I thought we all said no.
Yeah.
What are you today?
I'm still a no.
Brad?
Wait, you're a no? You don't think Joe Biden will be...
Yesterday's
poll.
Brad.
Oh.
About the 25th Amendment.
Oh.
I was a no.
Brad's producing over
And then,
there.
he's doing a lot of other stuff.
It is fair for people to understand.
Oh, no, I was a yes yesterday.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought we were all no yesterday, but I'm still a no just because I still don't think he's going to participate in whatever process comes about to remove him. Therefore, it's going to be very difficult.
But if they 25th Amendment him, and so then he comes back and says, nope, I'm good, that's still a yes in yesterday's poll.
Because it comes up.
I didn't even think about that. I guess that's true. I was thinking, would they get the 25th Amendment across the line is the way I was interpreting it.
Ryan, today's YouTube
Explain
live chat poll.
Can you speak slower, please?
Yeah, I got till 3. Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Yes or no? Brad?
I'm a no.
Yes.
Of course you are. I'm a no. I've been a no. I've always said it was going to be a no, and I said that this is how it's going to go down. I said to Brad last night in a DM, I said this was going to happen. Like, what I said is going to happen is kind of starting to happen, right? You confirm.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not just like seeing.
This is exactly how she has expressed to me that this is going to go down.
Monday's poll is going to be, is Annie going to get $1 million after the show?
Yeah.
And the answer is going to to be no.
By
Give
the
us
end of the
your
show.
winning
Yes.
lottery ticket numbers.
Yes or no?
What I miss?
What did I miss?
What did I miss?
So, what did I miss?
We're trying so hard to be big kids in this industry.
I get to pull audio from the week that Annie doesn't talk about because so much of it lands on the cutting room floor. I pull so much audio for this show, there's just no way we could play it all. But I need to give her a lot of
The more
options.
I play, the worse I feel that day.
But we've been talking about Jesse Waters' Man on the Street guy, Johnny Bellisario.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to get him on the show.
He's not available.
It's not available.
We need to kidnap him.
Which is unfortunate. But I got something.
We need to go to New York City while he's doing the Man on the Street, and Man on the Street, the Man on the Street.
That would be amazing.
Just
but
stand on the street in New York waiting.
That's a safe bet.
I got a cut on here from his Man on the Street where he was talking.
How about the migrant crisis?
It's insane. We have to do something.
It's really ridiculous. There has to be a limit.
I can't just walk into a country and just move in and sleep on the sidewalk. I'll get kicked out.
Get up. Get up. Just last week, there was migrants that punched cops, got out of jail bail free, and then skipped town. How'd that happen?
The laws are very lenient here.
The country is in real trouble.
That's ridiculous. They need to be stopped.
I don't think that's wrong because, they're not doing their part and stuff like that. If you're in trouble, who are you going to call? Jesus.
Get him on the phone.
When they got out, they gave you the middle finger. How'd that make you feel?
It's awful. I think it's awful.
In disgust.
It's like a spit in the face.
They're basically on our system.
Should they be deported?
Absolutely.
Now you got to go. Got to kick you out the house.
Yes.
Democrats don't think so.
Well, they caught 4 of them, correct?
And they let them go.
But they let them go, but they have to go to trial.
Right now, they skipped town. What makes you think they're coming back?
I don't know.
I love those episodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on, Bellisario. Do the Annie Frey show. Nobody will know. It's a ringing endorsement. I do think that the New York City stuff is, I've said this to Tyrus, I said this in multiple interviews, it's going to cross the partisan divide.
Oh, for sure.
It already is. It already is. And I don't know what that does to voting, but man, people are so fed up with. They're not even asking Democrats to not be Democrats. Just be a Democrat that was from 3 years ago. You just don't go radical progressive on me.
G-Whip said, did you guys get Johnny booked? Brad?
I'm sorry, G-Wibs. He's not available.
Yeah, Fox won't let us. Like,
you got Fox blocked.
I'm telling Brad. What are you boys laughing at?
It was funny. That's what it was.
Will you explain it to me on the break?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Book Jesse Waters, and then when you get him on the phone, be like, hey, can you put Johnny on the phone? You never get Jesse Waters back. All right, what did I miss? What next?
Yeah. So Donald Trump had some, did an interview with Maria Bartiromo, and he laid out some criteria for his VP.
What number is this, 14?
This is number 17.
No.
Also.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Always, it's got to be one thing. It's got to be who would be a good president. I mean, you always have to think that because, in case of emergency, things happen, right? No matter who you are, things happen. It's got to be number one.
Who is your running mate?
Well, I have a lot of good people. We have a lot of really good people.
So you haven't decided who it is?
I have a lot of good ideas, but I haven't. And there's no reason to do that quickly.
So you haven't told that person, you're my person?
I speak to everybody. I called Tim Scott because a lot of people like Tim Scott. I called him and I said, you're a much better candidate for me than you are for yourself. When I watched him, he was fine. He was good, but he was very low-key, et cetera, et cetera. I watched him in the last week defending me and sticking up for me and fighting for me. I said, you're a much better person for me than you are for yourself, because for himself he was low-key.
Such a
for
Trump
me,
compliment.
he's been a real tiger. He's been incredible. And others have too.
Trump only compliments people through himself.
Yeah.
And I would be so flattered if he complimented me because of how great he is. Would you, sir? You're my favorite president.
Well, he's listening. Hopefully he calls in.
Yeah, no kidding. He's tuning into Will Sharf. He's like, who are these yahoos? I think that Vivek Ramaswamy is a great candidate for VP because of his youth. Right now, with Joe Biden
Oh, man.
being Joe Biden, I think that the youth is a huge asset. If Annie got to pick the VP, it would be Tim Scott. But I think that Vivek has got to be the front runner. I was watching a Glenn. Did I send you the Glenn Beck
I don't think
clip?
you did.
Glenn Beck was doing the Patrick Bet David podcast, I think, and he was saying that Donald Trump called him. Donald Trump called Glenn Beck and said, I want to know what you think about who I should pick for my VP.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which I guess has to be true because Glenn Beck's not going to get away with lying about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't question that it was true.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that it happened.
What a baller statement. Donald Trump called me. He needed my advice.
Yeah, no
Which
kidding.
I think I respect the fact that Donald Trump is reaching out to people because what Glenn Beck has to say is going to be a lot different than probably what Sean Hannity has to say, or what Dan Bongino might have to say. They'd all have different opinions for whatever reason. Laura Ingraham, and Glenn Beck said it has to be Vivek, and Glenn Beck said in that interview that Trump's response was everybody says that's their number one.
Really? Wow. I was legitimately surprised because I heard this sound earlier this week when it happened on Maria Bartiromo's show. I was legitimately surprised that he said Tim Scott because I did not think that he was really seriously considering Tim Scott, but I know that you are a big fan of that pick.
It's so smart. He is the personality that Mike Pence didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
The compliment, the joyfulness of Tim Scott, the presence of Tim Scott. There's something that he brings to the conservative message to me that I've never really heard it said with such joy.
All right, all right, all right. If you want 4 more years of Donald Trump, let me hear you scream.
I mean,
Trump's right.
I don't want anyone to suggest it, but can you imagine Ted Cruz doing that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, no, Ted Cruz, don't do that. Ted Cruz, you do you. Don't do that.
But the former president is right about Tim Scott. I mean, he is a better campaigner for Donald Trump than he was for himself. It would be a little awkward to do that kind of stuff for yourself, though. So I guess you give him that.
He would do that, though. He would kind of take you to church on the stage when he was talking about his love for America. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about hyping up Tim Scott.
That's
it was
true.
about saying, I am on fire for this country. We have a great message on the Republican side of the aisle, and I am excited to talk to you about it, and that rubs off because I feel like with Tim Scott, it's genuine. Yeah. Vivek is incredibly effective and fearless, and I think that he will be that regardless of whether or not he's the vice president. I also don't think that Tim Scott is going to go on to be the president of the United States.
Yeah, which Trump cares about.
Yes.
He wants to leave a legacy. Trump has got to do what you're talking about Tim Scott doing. Make you feel good and positive that this is America. Somebody produced a video with him talking about, he comes out and just says, America's the greatest place on earth. And then it cuts to a more than a feeling and all this stuff. And you're like, I kind of like that feeling.
Everybody says Biden, Trump, like it's the most depressing thing that people can think of when they have to force themselves to think about politics because they've been trained like hamsters in a wheel to hate and despise Donald Trump. They've been made to believe things that aren't true that you can't really undo to the point where they're going to have an affection for the man the way people who have seen through a lot of this the entire time, have for him. I have an admiration for Donald Trump and an affection for his willingness to fight and do what it takes to win. But I also have a frustration with him that sometimes he jumps into battles where it's like, you didn't need to do that to win that battle. You come back here and let's squarely focus on winning A, B, and C and not worry about D, E, and F. But man, if you were looking at the current options between Biden and Trump, obviously, how can you possibly look at Joe Biden and go, yeah, we need 4 more years of that? Whew. He doesn't have 4 more years left of him doing
I don't
this.
think he does. You got time for one more?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do number 12. This was a barbershop type interview. These guys were sitting in barbershop chairs, and they were just talking about the 2020.
I'm trying to grow my business. As far as Biden, I haven't seen Biden really care about business like that. And my concern is having my business so that I can build generational wealth, so my kids can see and have something to take upon when I'm not here.
You're hearing that too, that there are some people in your orbit who are either voting for Donald Trump or considering it?
For sure. A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, for a president. And Trump is kind of all we know. And they're kind of Trump and Biden. They're like, well, we were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump. And that's kind of the only thing that I'm hearing over and over again, is that, well, Trump, we had money.
It's just a reminder that Joe Biden himself said that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. I can't, I mean, I'm trying to think of a more politically catastrophic statement than to demean somebody in that capacity, and Joe Biden got away with it. It doesn't seem like he's still getting away with it.
No. Kudos to Charlemagne the God, which is where that quote happened. This year, he's been having all kinds of Republican candidates on and giving them challenging questions. So that's great free speech media being used right there.
Yep.
We good?
We're good.
We covered everything I missed? At least all the good stuff.
Now you're completely filled in, Annie.
Yes. All right, bye.
See ya.
Still going home to take a nap.
X's and O's will be Brad versus Brad.
Yeah. You going to win? You going to be Nikki Haley and lose? Brad and I are going to play each other in Nikki Haley. I literally slept 45 minutes last night, guys.
Ouch.
I had a long day. We're going to do Ask Us Anything.
Yes.
Literally ask me anything. I have no idea what I'm going to say. In the YouTube live chat.
This is the time.
Yeah, this is time. It's like this is about what it would be like for me to be 2 drinks in. The YouTube live chat poll: is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Go vote. Leave a question. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
TheDiamondShop.net if you want to shop online right now. This weekend, last weekend to shop before Valentine's Day gets here, and they've got specials for you. You have not waited too long. Something beautiful and affordable is waiting for you in Clayton at the Diamond Shop. Let me talk to you about some of the extra savings that you can enjoy on something very special for your loved one this Valentine's Day. Or heck, go pick up something for yourself. Do that thing. For February, they have 30% off all of their mounted jewelry. You can sign up online at thediamondshop.net for their VIP program. You're going to get a free gift with purchase over $200 that is good through Valentine's Day. So go in this weekend, mention the Annie Frey Show, and become a VIP online. It's so easy to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. And get that free gift with purchase if you make a purchase over $200. They have 10% off bearing watches, and they have 10% off anything that is amethyst. So if you're celebrating a February birthday, that's the birthstone of February. Amethyst is a beautiful purple color stone. Save 10% at the Diamond Shop. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you go. And when you're thinking about sending those flowers, having them delivered, those roses, that's really expensive. Put that budget towards something that's going to last a lifetime at the Diamond Shop. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft.
I was in the chambers, and I think it's clear the Supreme Court's going to come down with a pretty strong verdict that Colorado and Maine were wrong, and the people of this country will make their own decision about being president.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people. I wanna magnify your light. I wanna reflect the sun. Cut like precious diamonds with colors by the millions. This is the only world we know, and for now this rental's our home. If we gon' be a reflection, gotta make this third rock glow. Just so you know.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people to illuminate the show. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people.
Get on the microphone.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people to illuminate the show. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people, Jesus, music for the people.
Man, a rare Rockmouth sighting.
Rockmouth doesn't come out of retirement very often, but when Rockmouth hears Rockmouth, Rockmouth has to respond.
Does Rockmouth only speak in third person or whichever one that is?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That is third person.
That's my first question on Ask Me Anything. Is that third person?
Yep. Answer, yes.
You have to ask me nicely. Don't make me beg here.
Ask Me Anything.
Tell me the truth! I have the first question.
Okay.
Probably the only question I have. Valentine's Day plans. Brian.
Yes, we do have Valentine's Day plans.
What you doing? Are they
I'm
hot?
very excited to say that we are going and buying ourselves sneakers. Which I think around here we refer to as tennis shoes.
So you can sneak around?
No. It has nothing to do with sneaking. It has a lot more to do with when we walk a lot of steps in a day, both of us are saying that our feet hurt. Part of that is that we're older, and the other part is that neither one of us have great walking shoes.
Orthopedic?
They might be.
Okay.
But I don't know what they're going to be yet. We're just going to go to Nordstrom Rack.
Childless.
You might catch us there on Wednesday night. Childless.
That's where everybody goes.
Yeah. But honestly, that's what we do for our date nights.
The sneaker aisle.
More often than not. We go eat somewhere and then we go shopping because it's the only time we can shop for ourselves. Otherwise, the kids are doing it.
Leah, any Galentine celebrations in your future next week?
Nope. Usually on Valentine's Day, I stay at home and watch horror movies. I think last year I watched like the entire Saw franchise.
She's like, I watched My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire Saw franchise means you were up all night watching those.
Yeah.
Unless you started during the day.
There's probably something to that.
Yeah.
That I don't know if we want to get into here. That's so dark.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want.
That makes you happy though to watch those movies. You like horror movies a lot.
I was like, when you put it that way, I don't know if I'd word it that way, but yeah, I enjoy horror movies.
Brad?
Well, we had Valentine's Day plans. What Terry and I usually do is we'll go out on the weekend closest to Valentine's Day. Because
what are you doing? It's Wednesday. Panic.
We just pick one and go.
That's the normal thing to do.
But like going out on Wednesday on Valentine's Day, it's just not worth the hassle. And Terry and I will just celebrate on a different day. But Terry's sick this weekend, so I don't know that we're gonna do anything.
Sounds like you could just choose the other weekend.
We just have to wait for the other weekend.
Yeah. My family historically, my husband and I historically, will celebrate Pitchers and Catchers Report Day, which happens to also coincide on the exact day of Valentine's Day. So we generally have ballpark food for dinner with our family at our house.
That's pretty fun.
And that's probably what we will do. Hot
I'm
dogs,
going to get
nachos.
you a hot dog roller this year.
I expect one now. Thank you.
You're welcome, because I have one that we're not using, and you can have it. It's been sitting there for a while, a little dusty.
Our hot dog roller will always have hot dogs rolling on it, and they will always be eaten. What's that? Trace Camino? Is it Trace Caminos? Is that in Collinsville?
Yeah.
Went there last night after a volleyball game, and there's a Burrito California there.
Ooh. Oh, yeah?
I don't know what that is. But the people we were with, it was my daughter had a volleyball game, and they wanted to go out afterwards. My question is, how about we go out after the Friday night game instead of the Thursday night game? But here we are at the Mexican restaurant. Never been before. It was delicious. And one of the people there said, get the Burrito California to my son because it's huge and it feeds me 2 meals. Dude ate the whole thing. And that burrito was my son's shoes are size 13s. It was the size of his shoe.
That's
and
cool.
he ate the whole thing. And walked out to talk. He didn't seem wrecked.
Fazed by it.
Did you, boys, when you were 13 and he's 14 now, could you just eat forever?
I could do that when I was 10.
Yeah.
I could do that, and I never stopped. Yeah. So I still do that.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement.
It's completely normal for...
There was a place in Carbondale in college that advertised burritos as big as your head.
Yes.
And I can't remember the name of it, but we used to go there, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then we just went to Florida, and we found a place that advertised burritos as big as a baby's arm. And we were like,
it's not necessarily that big.
And I thought the same thing. I'm like, I think they're intending for that to be big. And we went there, and it was closed, so it didn't matter. We never found out. But the burritos as big as your head, they were huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that the baby's arm marketing didn't work out really well for
Isn't
them.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that didn't work.
Next question.
I've got one here from Russell. He says, are Super Bowl halftime shows overrated?
My opinion on these, generally speaking, is that I am somebody who kind of thinks that everything is overrated.
Yeah.
In total, I don't need abject silence when the Super Bowl halftime is, so I can genuflect at the storied history of Usher, who I found out yesterday was the halftime show. When I found that
I'm finding it out right now.
Usher. When I found that out, I'm like, that should have crossed my path somewhere before now. Mm-mm.
Don't care.
Usher was in She's All That, which you watched.
I saw it.
And
what?
How did you like She's All That?
It was good. It was good.
That's right. Do you think it's a movie?
That's the right answer.
Do you think it's a movie that could be made today? Were there some problematic things in it to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, as in it could be made or no?
Sure, there were some problematic things.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because that was Annie's claim.
Making it
is
today.
that there were things that now today they would not even touch.
No, they just make fun of people
Yeah.
for being all the stereotypical things that we grew up people getting made fun of.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when high school movies had the classifications in them. You know, this
all
guy's
this
a
movie
geek.
is.
This
Clicks.
person's a dork. This person's a athlete.
This person's young and fit, but has a unibrow and glasses. Gonna be hot.
Uh-huh.
Just wait till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make a she's all that today, I know someone said they made a he's all that. I'm not interested. But like the new thing would be to take someone who's absolutely beautiful and make them impossibly average.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that either.
I want to see a high school movie with all the new values in it. See what are they trying to accomplish in the movie?
Just a sad story. Sorry.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
kind of is.
What was the question?
Are the Super Bowl halftime shows overrated?
What do you think, Brad?
No, not really. I mean, they've been overrated, but I thought the one with 50 Cent, Eminem.
The more we
Snoop
question
Dogg,
it, the older we sound.
Dr. Dre, I thought that was a really good one, but that's more because that was my generation's music.
I
so.
enjoyed that one a lot more than I expected to.
Yeah.
Leah, what would happen? Would we just combust if Taylor Swift popped out of the stage during an Usher song at halftime?
I don't think so, because I think in the back of everybody's head, it's like, that could happen.
You're almost expecting it.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't.
I think there'd be two reactions to that immediately. And one would be like, ah! And the other one would be like, ah!
Yeah, I think they'd all sound the same.
What if she was wearing a Biden hat?
That's how the story ends. Yeah, that's a little too on the nose. Comes out in a Biden hat and a walker.
I got another one.
Uh-huh.
You ready to move on?
Yeah. This is your show.
Here we go. AMA from Joe. He says, you get $1,000 for every hot dog you can eat.
Joe.
How many hot dogs can you put down? Caveat, you lose if you throw up.
Joe. What kind of hot dogs?
I think just the standard low-end
Not
ones.
like a quarter pounder, half
No.
pounder.
These are the cheap ones you get at wherever.
You lose if you throw up? Oh, man.
You don't have to eat the buns according to, like official rules you would, but I think he's just asking hot dogs. So
If I was prepping for this, I think you guys are going to smoke this. I think I could eat 4.
What?
Are we using Kobayashi got to eat the bun rules?
No.
Joey Chestnut or
No.
not?
We're making this
Just
up
hot
as we go,
dogs.
and we, A, also are not doing it. B, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. So you just hot dogs.
Just the hot dog.
4 hot dogs.
4?
Yeah.
Oh man, $1,000 a piece. Although I don't think I could go too much higher than 4.
The second that I start thinking about the fact that I'm gorging myself on
eating
hot
them.
dog, I'm gagging. And
You know
that
what?
probably happens, honestly, at 2.
Here's
is
the
where I
thi-
start getting icky feeling about the mental thing.
I'm not really hungry right now, so it sounds even grosser. But if you waited until you were like, a little past hungry, I think I could do 5 or 6. Brad?
Man, I think I'm walking away with 15 grand.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting paid for half a hot
my
dog.
initial reaction was I bet you I could do 20, but 20 would be pushing it to throw up. And I think I could control myself at 15.
Yeah, I don't know. When you put the money in there, my willingness to really try hard not to throw up, but to disgust myself, to live with my disgusted self without barfing, it's probably more than 4. But I've worked really hard in my near 40 years of life to have a healthy relationship with food, and
You're not going to blow it for 10 grand.
no, I might. I'm just saying, it's hard to think about knowing it's not actual.
I really don't think I could get past 7, maybe 8, like if I'm really pushing. But I don't know that I'm going to do it for $1,000. Now, if the price changed, I think I'd.
$1,000?
Yeah, I know it's $1,000.
Each one's $1,000.
I guess I'm not taking a dump on $1,000.
Excuse
I'm
me?
just saying that I think if it were 10,000 a piece, I'd get super uncomfortable.
I don't think I understood the question. Leah? Leah's got to answer.
You said bun or no bun?
No bun.
No bun.
No bun.
Okay. I was thinking like 8 to 10, so somewhere around you.
Okay.
Whatever you do, I'll do one more.
I love it.
Ooh. Man,
All right.
let's do it. Instead of 1,000, I'll put $1 on it.
I'll go $1 too. I'll match Annie.
$2 a hot dog.
Well, okay, I'll still take that because I'll probably just have hot dogs tomorrow anyway, and then I'll make $5.
You'll eat 2 hot dogs and make
Yeah.
$4. Smart
Whatever
move.
it is. Okay, I've got one that I want to ask you guys. Do you collect anything?
Brad?
Apparently, I collect junk cars because I never fix them.
That's an expensive hobby.
Yeah. No, I don't have any collection. I mean, if video games don't count, then no.
Leah?
Okay.
You a collector?
I used to be when I was younger. I used to collect postcards. And then, like, in high school, I guess I collected autographs. But I haven't done either of those as I've become an adult, so.
My grandma would, I don't know, she just did this, but she, like, picked an animal for us all to collect. And I think I collected frogs. But it was, like, given to me.
So it was decided you will be the frog grandchild.
Yeah, I think my sister was owls. I don't know if my brother, if it kind of petered out after that, because I know one of my cousins was a turtle. And it was like if she went somewhere on a trip and she would try to find a frog and she would bring that back for us for our collection.
Like senior frogs.
Like
yeah,
a
it
real
was
frog?
mostly just none of those. My husband and I are bucket listers for baseball stadiums, and we buy the mini bats.
Okay.
And so we have those on our wall in our basement, and I think we've got 8 or 9 of them. And outside of that, I mean, I'm a Disney World person, but I don't like my kids. I've told this story before. It's not really a story, but my girls collect ears, but they don't wear them because they give themselves headaches. And I've never worn a set of ears, nor do I have any interest. It is not my thing. No thanks. So I don't really collect anything. I collect time spent there if I can. What about you?
I tried to, although I've never really gotten as far as I want to, collecting Dr. Pepper stuff, just because I think it's cool. And unfortunately, I kind of did that same thing with frogs to my brother. Not with frogs, though, but with Coca-Cola merchandise. Because I would see it when I would go into flea markets and antique stores and stuff and think, oh, that's cool, but I don't collect Coke. So my brother kind of liked it, so I kind of kept pushing that. You collect this, right?
It's an interesting concept. Just start pushing. You collect these things, right? And
Yeah.
just start pushing stuff on people.
But I had to back off because I had to realize at some point, I don't think you're actually as interested as I think you are interested or want you to be interested.
It's just a means to an end to your hobby.
It's just a reason for me to keep looking for stuff.
I also, when I was a kid with my brother, we collected baseball cards, and we were pretty hardcore
Oh, we
about
did
it.
too,
Like,
yeah.
I can remember what the Becketts look like month to month, and
Yep.
and looked up. We'd get a Beckett every month that would come out, and we would look up our cards, and that
Ken
was
Griffey
so fun.
Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr.
My
going
brother-
toward the record.
My brother was a Griffey collector,
Yeah, me
and
too.
I was a Ripken collector. And if we went and bought a box or a set of cards and started going through them, and one of us if I got the Griffey and he got the Ripken, it was time for some negotiation.
That's fun, though.
Yeah, and it would be beyond cards. It's like, you're gonna clean my room.
Yeah.
I gotta find those. I gotta dig them out because I had some really good cards.
Well, I went to Kansas City really quick when I was I was maybe 10 years old. It was the only trip I ever took when I was that age. And I was kind of on my own. That's why I remember it, because it was a neighbor and, I was getting to do something kind of by myself. So me and my friend in Kansas City rode our bikes to the baseball card shop, got a pack. I pulled a Cal Ripken out of there that was worth $150
That's
at the
wild.
time. At the time. I went to the store, the baseball card store back here, and I was like, what would you give me for this? And they were like, I'll give you $100 for it unseen. So even if it's in bad shape. And I was like, nah, I'm going to hang on to that until it's worth a lot more. You know how much it's worth today? $2.
Oh man.
Oh no.
$2.
I don't think that I would have sold a card that I would have enjoyed the possession of the value
Which
of
I
that.
did.
Which is what the cards were. I don't know if I ever sold a card. I would buy cards out of cases if I saw one that I wanted, or I'd get my brother a Griffey or something like that. But I enjoyed that a lot. That's where my love of baseball started. Like, I can spit out Cardinals uniform numbers of the most obscure people, but it has to be mid-90s or later. I mean, I started really hardcore collecting in 1991 and 92, but it was definitely after that.
It's a good era.
A lot of Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn was him.
Kirby Puckett.
Yep.
Best first name in baseball.
I gotta go. I can see the binder
Goose Gossage.
that I had them perfectly organized by team, division, the whole thing. I gotta find those. I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna find them this weekend. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, be or not the bee?
Be or not to be.
All right. Keep hanging out with us on the YouTube live chat and give us your responses to the YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden still the Democratic presidential nominee? Yesterday, quite a bombshell with that special counsel report. And a very important note, if you didn't start the show with us today, we had Will Sharf, who is an attorney for President Trump. He is on a first name basis with Donald Trump. He probably calls him President Trump, but I'm pretty sure President Trump calls him Will. And he gave us so much reflection and insight in those first 50 minutes. We went way too long with him, and it was great. And we're going to have him back soon. Check it out on the podcast. We'll be back with Be or Not the Bee when we come back. Rock 'em out.
People making music for the people. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people to illuminate the soul. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people. Jesus, music for the people.
Light shine bright, light shine bright.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Light shine bright, light shine bright.
I want to talk to you about Air Comfort Service. It's St. Louis, so of course it's like 70 degrees outside right now, and it's going to snow next week. You're used to it. You know how it goes. The warm air, the cold air can be hard on your HVAC system, though, which is why having Air Comfort Service's phone number right there in your phone right now, I'm about to give it to you, is important. Because if something happens and your furnace doesn't kick back in when it gets cold once again, you need to know the right people to call, the people you can trust to get the job done, to get it done right, and to make you happy that you were connected to Air Comfort Service. Here's that number, 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. You reach out to Air Comfort Service. Make sure you mention the Annie Frey Show when you do, and you will be in the very best of hands when it comes to your HVAC care. 314-513-0091. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
When you're selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get when you work with my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Mark Cox here. Selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. That's why having an expert on your side is crucial. Right now, other agents know that some sellers will choose the agent that tells them the highest price. This can be a dangerous strategy. Most of the time, it ends up being an empty promise. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. She makes guarantees in writing. It's simple. Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Guaranteed in writing. Take it from me. Pick up the phone and call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit her online anytime and tell her you heard Mark Cox talking about it. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. If you're one of those folks who celebrates St. Patrick's Day like a national holiday, you need to meet my friend Grillmaster Tony. Mark Cox here for GrillmasterTony.com. He's got a St. Patrick's Day special of corned beef and cabbage and red potatoes and carrots, and let Tony do the cooking for you. Of course, he can also make a brisket, a hand-selected, ordered, delivered, wrapped, rested, hot, and ready to eat. You can order online right now at GrillmasterTony.com.
With over 25 years of experience, Mr. Appliance can fix almost any appliance you have, extending its life, saving you time and money. Call Mr. Appliance today to schedule an appointment. Services performed by independently owned and operated franchises and may vary by location.
Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Had quite a day yesterday, so of course we're talking about it today. It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? A simple yes or no are your answers, but we'd love to hear why in the comments. It is 1:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Shows that make a difference in your day.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm one less day from dying young. I see the light go past my shoulder. I'm one less day from dying young.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Train on a one-way track, I've made mistakes, and I couldn't take them back. And I've been running around in circles till I'm dizzy, I can't lie.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Of getting older, I'm one less day from dying young. I see the light go past my shoulder. I'm one less day.
The Bee or Not the Bee.
These are, of course, stories that have happened this week. Some of them from the Babylon Bee, which means they're satire and fake stories. The other ones, possibly real. You have to determine which ones are real, which ones are not. Here we go.
These stories are writing themselves, man.
Oh, I'm telling you. We had a rich week.
Yeah. I feel like we should do one every day next week.
I'm fine with that. And if it's anything like this week, here you go. Biden calls for the president to step down.
I know this one.
That is correct. After the shock of a special counsel report that characterized the president as mentally incompetent to stand trial, Biden has joined the growing chorus of voices in calling for the president to step down.
It's the right thing to do.
Quote, President Hoover needs to do the right thing.
Oh, no.
He's in over his head, can't even do his job right, said Biden to his nurse. Eisenhower's an honorable man, and he needs to do the honorable thing. I was speaking with Emperor Hiroshito about it last Saturday weekend. Blam flazzer blah 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 blah.
Blam flazzer bubble bowl.
That's how the article ends. All right, next one. Kamala Harris found mentally unfit to replace Biden.
Oh, that's gotta be the bee.
It's the bee.
It is the bee. Quote, not gonna lie, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the bullpen here, said an anonymous White House source. Quote, I asked Kamala yesterday if she would be ready to step into the role of president should her nation call her to do so, and she responded by laughing maniacally and talking about how much she loves space. We're running out of options. When reached for comment, the vice president gave no clear answers. Quote, president is like the biggest boss of the country. And when you think about it, that's significant in a way the many people find significant, she said. All right, next one. New York man arrested for driving into the ocean says, it's not my fault the truck don't surf.
What?
That's not the bee. I saw that article.
Say it again. That took a turn faster than I could absorb it while I was also reading Jack's comment that says, great afternoon for a Jeep ride, Annie. Enjoyed the show. Carry on.
Hey, this one's just for you then. New York man arrested for driving into the ocean says, it's not my fault the truck don't surf.
Wow. More? That's real.
That's the headline.
Is there more information?
Oh, yeah, that's a real headline.
Yeah.
Deputies informed, this guy's name is Bruskowitz, however, that the beach was closed to cars because the tide was too high. And then he said, quote, it's not my fault the truck don't surf. He told deputies upon his arrest, according to body cam footage from the sheriff's office, yeah, but you shouldn't be driving on the beach when the gates are all closed, the deputy said. Can I get in trouble for that, Berskowitz asked. Yeah, you can.
It sounds like the person that the news finds to interview after the tornado in the middle of the country. It's good to know that they have those on the coast, too.
Yes, yeah. This was New York. So.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Chicago mayor says that due to negative connotations, we should stop using the word Chicago.
That's got to be the bee.
That's the bee.
Leah?
Yeah, I'll say bee.
It is the bee. Mayor Brandon Johnson advised Chicago reporters to stop using the word Chicago when describing anything that happens in Chicago because of all the negative connotations associated with Chicago. Quote, you can call it the Windy City or downtown deep dish, but do not under any circumstances call it Chicago, said the mayor of Chicago. That just wouldn't be appropriate. The city formerly known as Chicago has been under particular strain of late due to large, quote, mob-like gatherings, disrupting businesses with, quote, loot-like behavior. Mayor Brandon hopes that calling the city literally anything else will cause the problem to go away. Next one, Hawaii rules Spirit of Aloha supersedes Second Amendment.
This is true.
Yeah,
this is tragedy.
This is a real story. The Supreme Court of Hawaii said the Spirit of Aloha clashes with a federally mandated lifestyle. Yeah. Well,
why didn't we think
the
of
spirit
this?
kind of moved through me here, and therefore we're going to change the Constitution that lets citizens walk around with deadly weapons during day-to-day activities. It adds, the history of the Hawaiian Islands does not include a society where armed people move about the community to possibly combat the deadly aims of others. So they just said, nope, we are not a part of that amendment to the Constitution. Number 2, by the way.
Outrageous.
New Senate anti-murder bill caps.
Time out.
Oh, sorry.
This is killing the mood. But you know how we're talking about sending money to Ukraine, sending money to Israel, sending money everywhere else, and trying to deal with our own border problem? I can't remember, I'm going to think about this and come up with it, hopefully before the show ends. But someone's like, where's the standalone spending for East Palestine? Where's the standalone spending for Hawaii? We've just completely stopped talking about what happened to Hawaii. And when I think about Hawaii now, we're trying to go there as a vacation in 2025, and I think about what has happened there, and we're just not talking about it anymore. Tragic.
Yeah. Getting this one in here before we get to the top. New Senate anti-murder bill caps murders at 5,000 per day. Yeah, I was just waiting for it. There we go.
I was too.
Democrats wanted more murder. We wanted less. We feel this is a reasonable compromise, said Senator Mitch McConnell to reporters before staring blankly at the cameras for 10 minutes straight. Every day, once we hit 5,000 killings, that's it. No more killing. And we're going to be strict about that. Some conservatives in Congress have challenged the language in the bill, suggesting that 0 murders would be a preferable number. There we go.
Let's debate it, though.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Stick around. X's and O's. Brad versus me. When we come back, Brad always wins.
Hey, it's St. Louis's weight loss coach, Charles D'Angelo. You know, owning a business and being a parent are two of the most difficult things. When you put them together, it's that much more challenging. Listen to one of my clients, Katie Malchuk, talk about how she dropped 50 pounds working with me, all while being a busy wedding planner and an awesome mom.
I had tried everything. Yeah. So I was the person who took the phentermine. I had done the workouts. I've been working out for 10 years consistently, whether with a trainer, at different camps and different things, and I could not shed the weight. It's really fun to see it in my children, them watching me go through this, and I think that was one of my number one reasons when I called Charles. I was like, I want to be a better mom to my girls and for them to see that I'm important too.
So if you're feeling like Katie once did, confused, overwhelmed, and not sure what to do, schedule your free coaching consultation today with me at charlesdangelo.com. That's charlesdangelo.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The White House plays defense. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. They're pouncing on a special counsel's report in a classified documents probe that ended with no criminal charges recommended, but fueled more concern about President Biden's age and mental fitness. Vice President Kamala Harris.
As a former prosecutor, the comments that were made by that prosecutor, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate.
Using some of the same language as Ian Sams, a spokesman for the White House counsel's office.
When the inevitable conclusion is that the facts and the evidence don't support any charges, you're left to wonder why this report spends time making gratuitous and inappropriate criticisms of the president.
Sam says the report's characterizations about the president's memory are not accurate. He points, as the president has, to the timing of a lengthy deposition just after the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, when he was dealing with that international crisis. While many Democratic lawmakers are defending the president, Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips, who's running for president, calls it a sad day for America.
It is an imperative to stay in the race to the convention. There is no other Democratic candidate running in the primary right now.
President Biden has won all of the delegates so far after 2 Democratic primaries, but Phillips tells Fox Radio's Brian Kilmeade the president should serve out his term and then pass the torch to a new generation. Just in time for Super Bowl Sunday, a 7-layer bean dip is one of the latest items added to a growing list of recalled dairy products made by Rizzo Lopez Foods, now linked to a listeria outbreak that first began in 2014. That recall includes sour cream, soft cheeses, yogurt, chicken enchiladas, cilantro salad dressing, sold at a variety of stores under many brands. The FDA has a full list of products. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
If you're looking for winter, don't look this afternoon. It's all about early spring, partly sunny, breezy, and warm, 69. Nice. Then tonight, lots of clouds, couple of rain showers, 42. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy and chilly, 52. Sunday, increasing clouds, 45, with a couple of rain showers. Late day on Sunday. Could be a little wet snow get mixed with that late Sunday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this: durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The attorneys at Allies Tax Relief are your ally and will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or them levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
This is 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
You need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back. Happy 2:07 on a Friday. One of our favorite times here on the show. We're going to play X's and O's. And today we wanted to keep it in the house, and Brad and I are going to face off, and it's a big board today. 4x4, 16 squares. Ryan's been slaving all week on this.
Yeah, these are fun to do, but it's double the work. So forgive me if the questions aren't quite
it's
as
not double
crisp.
the work. It's only 7 more questions.
Well, you know what I mean. It's close to double the work. But it's fun to put together, and I do like it when you guys play against each other. I'm just going right through you. So we have 16 questions and a board with it's 4x4 instead of 3x3, and so we're going to play A and B's instead of X's and O's. Annie and Brad going head to head. No experts. You guys are the experts. You're your own experts.
We'll see.
And you're representing yourself. And also, some of these questions were happening like right before Will Sharf came in. So if they're a little loose around the edges, give me a little grace.
Yeah, and we're going to we'll push through it, but it's a recap. It's always a recap of the week in news, and it gives us an opportunity to kind of visit some of the stories that happened during the week and revisit some things that maybe we talked about. So it's fun. Is Todd here? Did he take the day off too?
No, he didn't. I think he did. I don't think he's coming in today. Oh my gosh, he's here.
Todd. He's always here. He's so reliable.
That guy never gets sick. That's great. All right, so we know that Brad's going first. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's what Andy decided.
Brad, have you decided where you want to go on the board?
Yeah.
Leah is doing the Vanna thing today, so get on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and watch and give Leah a high five.
Okay. So I usually go bottom right, which would be 16 in this instance, but I want to go 4.
4? Okay.
That was deep philosophy.
No kidding. That was big misdirection. So this
I
is
usually
top
go bottom right, so let's just do number 4.
Which is top right.
Yeah.
Top right.
Okay. This one does have some sound to it. Brad, here's your question. Fox has been heavily promoting a show involving 5 very famous comedians, most of them with Saturday Night Live links, although not all
If he
of them.
doesn't get it, do I get a chance to steal it? And what
I
happens
think
if I
because
don't?
it's the two of you, you just automatically get it this time.
How about the person who doesn't? If Brad doesn't get it right, how about I get a chance to answer it? If I don't, then it's an X.
Then it's just an X.
A blank.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's do that. Okay. 5 very famous comedians on this show, most of them with SNL links.
This show?
Here is a clip of the show.
I need more than just one sip to give you proper feedback.
Tell you what, this is very manly.
Yeah, oh, very good.
Okay, the name of this heavily promoted show is A History of the World in 6 Glasses on Fox Nation. Name 2 of the 5 comedians on the show.
Jeez. Let's go with Rob Schneider and let's see, somebody else with, I don't know, Steve Martin.
And that is incorrect. Any chance to steal? Any of the 5 very famous comedians on the new Fox Nation show, A History of the World in 6 Glasses.
Can I give you last names?
Yes, you can.
Went and Belushi.
Went and Belushi is correct.
Who's the guy who's in all the Adam Sandler movies? You gotta do the bull dance, feeling the flow, working it.
Kevin Nealon.
Kevin Nealon, he's in that too.
Yes, he is in that.
Is David Spade in it?
David Spade is not.
No, that was.
The other names are John Lovitz,
Oh yeah. I love it.
George Wendt, you said. Dan Aykroyd, you said.
Good.
Dan Aykroyd was the other one I was.
Jim. Oh,
coming
you
up-
didn't say Aykroyd.
No, I was thinking.
Kevin Nealon and Jim Belushi.
That'll be real good.
There you go.
Yes.
It actually looks like a pretty entertaining
Brad,
show.
I sent it to you and said, get some of these guys on. But I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like a fun show. They walk through different drinks, the history of drinks in each episode. So that goes to Annie. Number 4 is an A.
Number 4 is an A
She's an
for the
A.
steal.
All right, now it's Annie's turn. Still just 3 across to get tic-tac-toes, by the way. You don't have to get 4.
7.
Okay, number 7.
Going diagonal.
All right, that is one of our audio whoopies of the week.
Whoopee.
I've got a clip for you from Tuesday. This is Joseph Robinette Biden.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Question, how many days until that election that he's referring to? Are there more or less than 273?
Less.
That is correct.
It's kind of a crap question for him to get to guess if I read it wrong, but not like we knew that.
Less, yeah, 273.
Is it 268?
273 was Tuesday when he said that. So today would be 270.
270.
Yep. There we go. All right, 2 A's. Brad?
Number 10 for the block.
All right, for the block. Here we go. It's made the rounds on the internet this week that a certain airline had decided to start weighing passengers before they get on the plane. Their spokesman said, quote, only the customer service agent working at the measuring point can see the total weight, though. It's
but you still have. What do you have to do if it's over?
They're doing it as part of a study right
Alarms.
now. Yeah, too big.
Floor drops out. You're just gone.
Where's that go? We think a ball pit. We're not sure. It's part of a larger study, no pun intended, that the airline is kind of tinkering with. On what continent is this airline based?
Oh, no. Man, it's too obvious to say North America, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it?
Don't want to lose on the obvious answer.
No.
Or do you?
But I don't know how they could get away with it in North America. Where's it based out of?
The airline. Where's the airline based out of?
Okay.
What continent?
Let's go with Europe.
Brad, you're right.
I was
Nice
gonna say,
guess.
I would have guessed Asia.
Nice guess.
Just 'cause
No.
they're smaller people.
I'm
by
thinking
nature.
like an Air France or something. This seems
Yeah.
like a French
It's
thing.
actually Finn Air.
Man.
Oh, Finnish?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shots
yeah.
fired
man.
at France.
No kidding, man. Somebody in the audience is like,
Can you name the leader of France? Because some people apparently cannot who run the country.
Well, I won't tell you which question that is.
Okay.
But it might come up.
Okay.
Annie, it is your turn. Brad with the block. Congratulations.
3. 3.
Number 3.
Where did he go?
I don't know what
happened. Did you glitch?
What? What happened? What did I miss?
I think yes, he did.
Nothing. Just carry on.
I think I did glitch.
Sir.
Did I miss myself blacking out? All right, number 3, unless you're going to tell me.
You can watch the
I
tape.
will rewatch that. I might have blacked out. Who knows? Trump, in a recent interview with Maria Bartiromo, denied rumors that he had been talking to RFK Jr. about a vice presidential role on Trump's ticket. But he did bring up 2 names of people he's considering for the role in that interview. Can you name both?
Kristi Noem and Tim Scott. Yeah.
That is correct.
Ooh.
I didn't know if you get both. Tim Scott we talked about. So
I think he wrote it on the sheet.
Oh,
I have
did he?
kind of a visual memory, so I think I saw it on the sheet. Did you write it on the sheet?
Might have.
Sound?
Brad, it's back to you.
Well,
Again, we've got threats.
I have to go for the block on square 2.
I tell you what, though, if you get this, you're going to be in a good position.
Yeah, unless she decides, nah.
Number 2. Okay. Here is your question. The Nevada primary was this week, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Between these 4 choices, who got the most votes in the Nevada primary? A, Nikki Haley. B, Mike Pence. C, Donald Trump. D, none of these candidates.
D, none of these candidates.
That is correct. That is correct. The only reason I thought that might be tricky is because there was also a caucus that Donald Trump won. And so everybody heard the story about the none of these candidates thing, but I didn't know if you may confuse those things.
No.
You did not. So you got the square for the block again. Annie, back to you.
I shall choose 6 with confidence. That's offense and defense.
Okay, 6 with confidence.
Hope I don't screw it up.
Number 6, it's been announced that SNL's Colin Jost, co-host of the Weekend Update, will host the White House Correspondents' Dinner this year. President Biden will likely be in attendance as he usually is. There has only ever been one president in the history of the event to never attend as president. Who is it?
Trump.
That is correct. He never once attended the White House Correspondents'
Why would
Dinner.
he?
Well, you know what's tricky about that, though, is there are pictures of him when he was there before he was president.
Right.
So, but he didn't attend as president. So.
And they made jokes of him while he was sitting in the room.
Yes, they
like
did.
They mocked him to his face.
Yes, they did.
And then he won.
So I thought that might be a tricky question because of that. Let's see here. Back to Brad with still no tic-tac-toes on the board, but a lot of options.
Yeah, this is tough. So.
I'm liking it.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with 11.
I thought you might. It's a good move. All right. This is a tough one, though. Number 11, Killer Mike won 3 Grammys this week. Can you believe that was still this week? There's been so much that's happened this week.
It's important to distinguish Killer Mike from Big Mike, which I accidentally said wrong on the show earlier this week. It's different.
So Killer Mike won 3 Grammys this week, then got arrested in what they're now saying was a misunderstanding on the part of a security guard.
Sounds like a Biden Justice Department.
I'm going to play a song. You have to tell me whether or not this is Killer Mike. Brad, here you go.
So I don't know Killer Mike. So my best guess is no.
That's correct. Does anybody know who that is? That was another big song this year, apparently. Yeah.
Leah
you know,
knows.
Leah?
I don't know who it is. She's going to know when she
You're
hears
like,
it.
that's on the tip of my tongue.
What is it?
Lil Durk, All My Life.
Never heard of him.
Yep.
What number? 11?
Number 11.
Yeah.
All right. Man, still, you guys are going back and forth.
Lots of threats. Let's take a quick break, and we will wrap up X's and O's. Brad versus me, and we'll see how this fares. No tic-tac-toes quite yet. You can watch the board. Leah's filling it out as we go, and you can play along on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.
All I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see. A little bit of Sandra in the sun. A little bit of Mary all night long. America, here I am.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 58. Listen live from Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Takes the snap. Darts a pass near side. Caught by Kelsey. Wrapped to the ground at the 12.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
With a comeback for the ages. The 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl.
Wherever you are this Sunday, stream Super Bowl 58 with Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search Super Bowl. AUDACY.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are playing a little X's and O's. Ryan, are you good? Are you with us? How you feeling?
I still don't know what happened. If I lost a couple seconds of my life,
we're all on the same page.
at least
there.
it was on video that the doctors can see it.
Yeah, I'm going to clip that.
I don't know. I really don't.
You could take it in and be like, okay, so this is what happened.
I think I might have actually blacked out.
We don't know where you went.
Yeah, apparently I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's okay, though. Every now and then, everybody needs a little bit of a sabbatical. Sometimes it's during the show.
I'm glad you're okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've come to terms with it.
Okay, good.
I still don't know what happened, so.
It's your game.
Is it time for me to take over? Okay, then I will.
Leah?
It's
about to be your moment. You just knock him
Apparently
out of the way.
I'm misfiring.
The
I don't
show
know.
must go on. If his leg starts to twitch, you just say, step aside, sir.
Annie, it is your turn. You have many options here.
12!
That's the square you want? Or is that the time the show starts? What time does the show start, Annie?
He's not okay.
No.
12.
You want square number 12?
I'm not stupid.
I'm just making sure.
I want square number 12.
Okay. The star of Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison, is ripping politicians a new one after his son died from fentanyl, saying their inaction on the border is, quote, absolutely disgusting. During Pawn Stars' extensive television run, give me 1 year that the show was on the History Channel.
2005.
That is incorrect.
Oh, man.
That is incorrect. Brad, here.
All right. Well, I'm going to go.
You know what I want to do? I want to play a steel sound effect that I have.
No, God, Ryan, come
Okay,
on.
Brad, go ahead.
2010.
2010 is correct. Yeah, the show started in 2009 and has run through now. It's still on. So anytime between 2009 and now.
I question. I'm going to throw a flag on that.
Go ahead.
Revisit later.
Go ahead. All right, Brad has the game's first tic-tac-toe.
With the steel.
So can you double use?
I think you can. I think you can double use your B's.
All right. Well, then, in that case, let's go with number 9.
Okay, number 9. On Thursday night, President Biden mixed up the presidents of Mexico and Egypt in a speech about his mental competency. But earlier in the day, Biden told a story about meeting another dead foreign leader, making it the second time in a week he referenced talking to heads of nations recently who are not alive. Name either of the countries whose leaders he said he spoke to, but who are dead.
France.
France is correct. That is one of them. The other one, do you know the other one?
It was Germany.
It was Germany. That's correct. You would have gotten both of them. All right, Brad. Now he's got 2 tic-tac-toes, and
I think I remember the people we watched Pawn Stars with, but I think I was thinking it in the wrong house that they lived in.
So it was correct, wasn't it? 2009.
22 seasons.
Yeah. Annie, it is your turn to make a mark on this board.
Let's go with 14.
14. The former governor of Maryland has just announced his candidacy for Maryland Senate, giving Republicans a possibly long shot bid for a Maryland Senate seat. Who is it?
Larry Hogan.
That is correct. That is good news today, that they actually have a shot at that seat, although we'll see how it goes. Brad, back to you.
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay, this is our first of these this week. This is, of course, a real clip from the week run through artificial intelligence software. It's going to sound like not the person saying it, but you'll have to tell me who actually said this.
You need meat? Okay. And we're going to have meat in Florida. Like we're not going to have fake meat. Like, that doesn't work.
Oh, gosh. Talk about obscure.
You want to hear it again?
No.
Okay.
Because it won't help me figure it out. Ron DeSantis.
Here's who said it.
Wait.
You need meat, okay? And
Okay.
we're going to have
So
meat in
it's
Florida.
correct.
Like, we're not going to, we're going to
Say, I was
have
getting that
fake
square if
meat.
you-
Like, that doesn't work.
That was DeSantis. Just talking about meat. Not going to have fake meat. Like, that doesn't work here. All right, Annie, back to you.
8.
8. Annie, Super Bowl Sunday is just 2 days away, and the game will be played in Las Vegas, Nevada this year. Do you remember where it was played last year, the year before? To get this square, give me the name of any host city in the last 3 years or the next 3, which have been announced.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is correct on both ends of that scale,
Stupid
actually.
Rams.
Yep. I thought that might be the one that everybody remembered. Yeah, that was.
Dallas and Tampa Bay.
So the last three in order. So last year was Phoenix. The year before that was
I would
LA.
not gotten Phoenix.
And then the year before that was Tampa.
Okay.
The next three, next year will be.
Didn't Tom Brady play in Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Next three will be New Orleans next year, San Jose the year after that, and then LA again the year after that.
But I think the Tampa game was the Chiefs and the 49ers.
I don't care.
I honestly, I wouldn't remember.
The only reason I remembered it was in LA is because it disgusted me.
Yes,
so.
me too. And it will be in LA again in 3 years. All right, just to reset the board here, we have Annie with, I think, one across the center, right? You have one tic-tac-toe.
Yep.
Brad has 4 squares across the center, which means that's actually 2 tic-tac-toes in this version. And it is Brad's turn.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 13.
13. Brad, today a presidential candidate who also ran in 2020 has ended their campaign after a loss in Nevada. Which candidate is it? Today, a presidential candidate who also ran in 2020 has ended their campaign.
That's rough.
None of the above.
Yeah. None of the, yeah.
That could be it.
I have no idea. Who ran in 2020?
Mark Reardon wants to do a show.
Yeah, I know. I'm struggling.
Take your time.
To check the Ryan glitch. It's contagious.
Bernie Sanders, I don't know.
Bernie Sanders is incorrect.
Marianne Williamson.
Marianne Williamson for the steal. That was number 13.
Pretty sure that news alert came across in an ungodly hour this morning when I was unfortunately
It
awake.
was, yeah. There you go. Okay, Annie is threatening here.
15.
Okay, if you get this, you're going to tie the game. Number 15, Annie, this is from Saturday Night Live this past weekend.
Yes, hello. My question is, why won't you debate Nikki Haley?
Oh my God, it's her, the woman who was in charge of security on January 6th. It's Nancy Pelosi.
Are you doing okay, Donald? You might need a mental competency test.
Are you doing okay, Donald? You might need a mental competency test.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. I'm so funny. I'm not going to be the president.
Here's the question. Of course, that's Nikki Haley doing incredible comedy with people who will instantly turn on her if she wins the nomination.
Yeah, they're called Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. The question is, did she even once mention Joe Biden in that entire sketch?
No.
That is incorrect.
I have
That
no
is
idea.
incorrect.
I didn't watch it.
For the steal, Brad?
Yes.
Here's the answer.
Yeah, that's what voters will say if they see you and Joe on the ballot.
There you go.
That says Joe. That's not Biden.
Okay, well, it's Joe. Sorry, rephrase the question. Did she mention Joe? The answer is yes, she did. Brad with the steal.
Another flag on the play. It's not Biden. You said Biden.
I got a tic-tac-toe there, too.
Uh-oh. Yes, he did. Now it's 3-1.
1.
1. Okay, this is another one of our audio whoopies of the week.
Whoopee.
Brad, in the Colorado case currently before the Supreme Court arguing to keep Trump off the presidential ballot in November, we heard oral arguments yesterday. I'm going to play a clip from them. You have to tell me which justice is speaking.
But maybe put most boldly, I think that the question that you have to confront is why a single state should decide who gets to be president of the United States.
Ooh. I think that's Justice Elena Kagan.
You gonna lock that in?
Yeah, I'm going to lock that in.
That is correct. That is Elena Kagan.
Yeah, 1. 16.
16 is our last square on the board. Here we go, from one end to the other. Annie, this Sunday is the Super Bowl. News alert.
Thanks for all the Super Bowl questions.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. In what year was the first Super Bowl played? I'll give you multiple choice.
No idea.
A, 1961. B, 1967. C, 1970.
61. I don't know.
Incorrect. Brad for the steal.
67?
That's correct. For the steal.
Brad wins again.
Brad got
I don't
the
think
game.
I've ever won one of these.
I think you might have won the first one we did at the golf course.
No,
Madison
not
County
at all.
Republicans.
No, I did not.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was pretty sure you did.
No. I lost the game like in the first. I couldn't possibly win in the first 3 questions.
Really?
Yeah. You asked me like what the square root of 437.5 was, and I was like, I can't do that math.
Yeah,
No,
that sounds
I
like
never
something
win
I would have
these.
stored up for you.
All right. Good game, Brad.
Good game, Annie.
It says blah, 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 blah up there. Good job, Leah. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up with the YouTube live chat poll. We'll get to some of your comments as well. Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? A lot of people might have that question now after the news broke yesterday about essentially the special counsel saying that the president is not fit to stand trial. Why? Because he means well, but he's got a really poor memory and he just is very elderly. All right. Can he be the president like that? Can he be the nominee is the YouTube live chat poll question. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, vote, leave a comment. I'll feature your comments when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Valentine's Day is coming up here real quick. So if you're like me, do what I do. I buy my special gal. I'm just saying, it's just a recommend. It's just what I do or what I would recommend that you could do. It's the best gift that will always keep on giving. Buy your better half a new furnace or an air conditioner. I know, sounds kind of crazy too if you're not a crazy type person, but, give it some time. Think about it. Let it soak in. Yeah. See the smiles on your loved ones? There we go. Here's the number that you need. Save it. It's Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest and the only one, Missouri and Illinois, is 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. 3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at noon, or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? That's the subject of today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. It's a simple yes or no. Is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Let us know what you think. If you haven't already, we'll give you the results of that poll here in just a couple minutes, along with your comments. It is 2:40. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon coming up after Fox News at 3. What the heck happened with the Mayorkas impeachment vote? We're going to run that down. Also, Senator Eric Schmidt live at 3:25.
Let's go, girls.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Frey Show. Had a really busy Friday show this afternoon. We started the show with Will Sharf in studio, started right from the very top, and he was with us till 12:50. We took him very long. Definitely go back and listen to the podcast if you didn't get a chance to hear him, because he was at the Supreme Court hearing yesterday about the ballot question in Colorado that was heard in front of the Supreme Court. He was there. He's part of that team. He is Trump's attorney. And he got to come here. He got off a plane this morning, came straight to the studio, and just really downloaded a ton of information and insight on us on that issue, on the Biden press conference yesterday. Just a whole host of things. It was a pleasure to have him in here. I'm really grateful for that opportunity. So if you didn't get to hear it, I saw someone say they came in late and wanted to know if we would replay it. It's on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You can go watch the show every day. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be an honor to have your YouTube subscription there. But also anywhere you get podcasts from. And if you're not a podcast person, download the Odyssey app. Find 97.1 FM Talk. You can type in Annie Frey Show, Frey, and you can connect to us there in case you missed anything. That's the easiest way to do it. So President Biden yesterday, this thing comes out, this special counsel report comes out and basically says that he's unfit to stand trial, but does say that he willfully kept these documents. He comes out and says, no, he didn't, but he was citing different parts of documents and allegations that were part of the special counsel report. It was a pretty huge disaster. Here's President Biden at that press conference.
In addition, I know there's some attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business. Let me tell you something. Some of you have commented, I wear since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of... Every Memorial Day we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family and the people who loved him. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away or passed away. Simple truth is I sat for a 5-hour interview over 2 days of events going back 40 years. At the same time I was managing an international crisis.
It's not something that a lot of people are talking about, but I really question the fact that the 5 hours of testimony that he sat through, questioning that he sat through, 5 hours of having to sit there and answer questions. This is October 8th and 9th. On October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel in one of the deadliest attacks on the Jewish people that we've seen since the Holocaust. The deadliest attack. How is it that the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief of the United States military, had time to sit for 5 hours and answer questions? How is he expendable for 5 hours to participate in that? He said that he was overdrawn, essentially, because it was a very pressured time and there was a lot going on. Why is it that the president is permitted to sit for 5 hours and answer these questions when that situation is unfolding in Israel? Still a very live situation and scenario through the entire week, and dust was literally still settling from what Hamas did in Israel. Don't you think that the president of the United States needs to have his eyes squarely focused on what's going on over there, especially if you're going to filter United States tax dollars and Lord knows what else into that conflict? How can we afford to have the president of the United States spending 5 hours answering questions in this regard? In that moment, he was not capable of answering the special counselors, the special appointees' questions. This is the same time frame where he was managing the American response to the Hamas attack in Israel. Hugely, hugely frightening to know that that timeline intersected that way. And for whatever reason, the president was expendable for 5 hours of time in that moment. I don't hear people focusing in on that as much because so much else from the special counsel report is so damning to the mental state, the capacity of Joe Biden. But the issues that came out of yesterday's news cycle, the layers to the issues that this country faces with Joe Biden at the helm, we haven't even begun to peel them all back. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The first person to write the tell-all book is going to make so much money. The YouTube live chat poll for today is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? Ryan, what do you think?
I'm still yes. All the pressure looks like it's on him right now, but I still think the process is still in his favor, and the laws and everything that's set up, the nomination, the primaries, it's all still in his favor enough that he will still carry the nomination. Yeah.
Brad?
I'm a no. This man is deteriorating before our eyes. I mean, I saw a compilation of him talking from 2010, 2012, in the debate with Paul Ryan, in the debate with Donald Trump, up to now. The man is falling apart, and it's quickening. It's not happening slowly. And so I think it will get to a point where, politics aside, it will come to a point where he will be so bad that both sides are like, yeah, no, we're right. We can't leave this man in office. So he won't be it.
I've questioned it for a long time. I don't think that he's cut out for it. I think that he's it's a crass phrase, a useful idiot. I think that he has been somebody who they could put up against Donald Trump, and he was neutral and familiar enough that they could get away with it, especially during COVID. And I've always felt that as soon as he was no longer useful, they'd ride that out as long as they possibly could, but as soon as he was no longer useful, they would dispose of him. And I think that we have come upon that. And I think that they were trying to stretch it out as long as they could. And I mean, if they can stretch it out till December, that would be just long enough. Did you see the tweet that the Joe Biden Twitter account put out yesterday? This is unbelievable. It was directly from Joe Biden's account. It says President Biden at POTUS.
Okay.
It's a picture of Joe Biden laughing with Kamala Harris. Black and white picture. Very lovely picture.
Yeah, I did see this.
We are so fortunate to have a real leader, a true friend, an historic vice president in Kamala Harris. We couldn't do this without you, Kamala. This was in the late morning, early afternoon yesterday before that report came out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you look at the comments? Your microphone's not on.
Thank you, Brad. Did you look at the comments?
Yeah. I didn't need to.
They're funny.
Because they're from President Biden. I mean, it's from President Biden's POTUS Twitter account. So, I mean, that's a far-reaching account that's going to get as much drag as it gets anything else. But, I mean, I don't know if that was perfectly timed or incredibly ill-timed. Kamala Harris is not going to be the solution for the Democratic Party. Kamala Harris is a solution if it means that the Democrats retain power from the Republicans. But it's about keeping power from Republicans as much as it's about who gets to have the power for the Democrats. It's about the party staying in control, the bureaucracy staying in place as it is. Think about what we've seen come out of the Department of Homeland Security. Think about how they've been able to label you from the Department of Homeland Security. Think about who they've been able to call a domestic terrorist. Think about who they have not shined any light on when it comes to potential domestic terrorism concerns. Think about religion and how religion has been parsed in order to be a problematic demographical divider where you can be Catholic and that automatically puts you in a position where the Justice Department or whomever it was said that they were going to put people inside the church to make sure that they could watch you and report back. I mean, it's outrageous what the bureaucracy is willing to do. Look at the Justice Department. See what the Justice Department is willing to do to prosecute crimes if you are this political lean and not that political lean. Look at what the IRS is willing to do if you are this political lean or that political lean. Look at what the Department of Education is willing to do if you are of this political mindset or that political mindset. They don't need to have the strongest, best, individual person leading the party from the top. In fact, it would be detrimental to have it because they would have their own legacy to fortify. And Joe Biden, his legacy is that he's been in Washington, D.C. for half a century. He literally can't tell you when he was the vice president. He literally can't tell you when he is running for Senate or president. He has screwed that up on the campaign trail in 2020. This is, well before October of last year. The person who is at the top, the less that they invest their own personal fingerprints into the effective nature of the Democrat Party, the better for the bureaucrats. The swamp. I'm pretty sure Kamala Harris would be a very, very accommodating swamp rat. And, if you can get Joe Biden across the line and he doesn't make it past that, then checkmate, you're good. You're good.
No, that's very true. Kamala Harris seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be that people are almost more afraid of her, both on the Republican and Democrat side, pre-election than they would be post-election, for sure.
You think Republicans are afraid of Kamala Harris pre-election?
Well, I would say afraid of her just because she can, well, you know what I was going to say is that she can actually speak. And then I reconsidered that sentence because she has such a tough time stopping her sentences. They just kind of keep going. But, I mean, yes, Democrats are afraid of her pre-election for sure. Republicans, I think, are torn on the issue. I don't know who they'd rather face, her or him.
I think that either is fine.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
probably
that
about equal.
the Michelle Obama swooping in, Gavin Newsom is so elitist, gross. I don't think that Gavin Newsom does for the Democrats what they need to do. He is going to come in and do what he did in that debate, and he is going to tell everybody how it is, and if you don't agree with him, he's going to insinuate that you're just not smart enough to understand why this, in fact, is the way you need it to be. And he's like really, really comfortable in that skin.
Yeah.
And if you had somebody who could run on a record of, even if they have been pretty far left of center, but they could claim that they could try to position themselves as kind of centrist a little bit, you might have somebody there who'd be formidable. I don't really know who that person is because Newsom is not it. If Newsom is running on his record, it's awful. Anybody running against him, Trump or whoever, would just have to bring up his record in California, and it's baked in. Everybody already knows what it's like.
Yeah, Newsom would do to the American people what he did to that cashier at Target. And he's like, no, listen here, dummy. But to your point, the first person, like if
Why
the
do I have to pay $361 and they get to just walk out the door that says Gavin Newsom? What a gift to the Republicans.
So
yeah,
but I think you've touched on somebody. It's somebody that can run as a mid person, somebody that can run down the middle.
Even if their record doesn't reflect that, if they can run that way and
like
make
RFK
themselves give them that perception, I think they could do it.
What if RFK Jr. becomes the Democratic nominee?
I just don't know. I don't think does he want the Democrat nominee?
Hell yes, he does.
Is he going to try for it, though?
He wants to win the presidency.
Yeah,
He'd
he
take
does.
the Republican nomination if it were offered to him.
Sure, but I just don't know if he's going to be the one. I just don't know if he's in the conversation for Democrats.
He might be too much of a threat to the apparatchik.
Ooh, nice word.
More than Trump? The question is Trump. You have to look at who you've got versus Trump. And you've got to have somebody who has appeal that can beat Trump. I believe the Democrats are much more interested in working with RFK Jr. than they are even the mental concept of Donald Trump's second term. It is the worst thing that could happen to these people. It will be so fun.
I mean, it's why this question is interesting today, is because is Joe Biden still the Democrat presidential nominee? There are so many. He should be. It's obvious that he should be. The position that he's in should make him the easy choice for that. But I think every single person who's watching this going, it can't be him, right? It can't actually be him.
Who?
Joe Biden. He has fumbled the football so badly.
I've been saying it for 3 years.
That for him to be the nominee, even as president, would be almost more shocking than if he weren't.
Brad, you've heard me ask guests for years.
Yeah.
You think Joe Biden's going to be the guy? And there's been a slow change, but people would laugh at me like, "Yes, Annie, come on. How could it not be?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I just look at it.
Yeah, Joe Concha's one of them.
Yeah, but he's changed too.
Oh yeah.
Is Joe Biden still the Democratic presidential nominee? With 226 votes in, 56% say no.
Wow.
That's the first time I think we've had a majority. I think we're going to start tracking these polls. Leah's going to start tracking the results. 56% of 226 votes say no, he's not. 44% say yes. Go to the podcast, get the Odyssey app, AUDACY, and please listen to that Will Sharf conversation we had, because, boy, he was firing on all cylinders. We're going to turn those videos around as well. So make sure you subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Turn the notification bell on, and when Brad and Leah put them up, you'll get to see those videos. Mark Reardon, up next.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning and revolutionary online learning program that's changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by teachers and early childhood learning experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 7,000 learning activities and more than 650 lessons, it's the most comprehensive early learning site on earth.
I have been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
It's just endless what they can learn on ABC Mouse. I've always had to use 20 websites, and now I can just use one.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio, abcmouse.com.